Today is going to be a good day. Not only are we going to be talking about Raiders, I'm talking Ashton Jeanty. And this is coming from somebody that's been a little bit on the fence of whether or not I want the Raiders to go out and get him. Based on the last 24 hours, I'm telling you this right now, there's a lot of smoke around the Raiders potentially drafting Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty. I'm Mitchell Renz. You're watching the Raiders Report. And not only are we going to be talking some Raiders today, not only do I have a boot to do here in about 60 seconds, shout out to Lord Cameron Abbott. Let me get some LCAs down below. But we are also going to be talking a little about MLB Opening Day. Mets versus Astros. I'm a Mets fan. Chuggs is an Astros fan. March Madness is going to be a little bit later today. But here's how today's show is going to go. I'm going to get into the news and rumors around Ashton Jeanty because I want all y'all to see what has kind of happened here the last 24 hours. Then ESPN put out a mock draft. Here's the fun part. I have not seen this mock draft yet. Jeremy built this entire show, and I'm going to react to this full 7-round mock draft as if we were sitting here right now in the actual NFL draft. I'm going to see the picks, and I'm going to react to them in real time. I don't know what has happened. I don't know anything about it, but I like being able to do this because this is what the actual draft is like. And I've had a few people asking me over the past maybe 2-3 weeks or so, Mitch, you don't do mailbags as much anymore. I don't do as many mailbags anymore because on live shows, I like to be able to answer the questions, kind of like what we're doing right now, which I already see one down there below from John Akala. But I will end up doing a mailbag on today's show, which is probably going to be a little bit later. So if you want to start getting those hashtag Raiders, you want to start getting some super chats in around that, anything that's free agency, draft, trades related is going to be featured in that mailbag today, and then that video will go out over the weekend. We have a lot of March Madness races to do for the Raiders Report crew, which right now we are in our round of 32. We will get to the Sweet 16. All the races, which I believe is 16 races today. I plan on being live here for somewhere around 2.5, maybe 3 hours. But today, I promise you this, y'all, is a lot of fun. And I do owe you a boot, and I want to see some LCAs down below on Tuesday. My man, Lord Cameron Abbott, sent out some good vibes. Got a big win for him in the duck race. Got a big win from him and Nabman. Got a big win for him and Raider Ron. And I said, all right, bro, you hit the gong today, so I'm going to do a boot. And I'm telling you this, the boot deal I'm going to give y'all is going to scare the hell out of me, but today's going to be a lot of fun. I'm a baseball guy. We got some baseball beer bongs getting ready to go down. Chug said he might have a few with me as well. So if you want a shout out on the show and if you want some major love, I'm telling you, LCA is my guy. I see Seth, Anthony Green. What up, Dakota Gonzalez? Seth, Raiders Sancho. What up, Corrupt 88? King Shav, much love to all of y'all. I know a lot of times when I do this show on a Thursday, I wait to do the craziness, the shenanigans a little bit later on. I'm going to do the shenanigans throughout the entirety of today's show. I'm down to have a good time because there's not many days in sports where I can talk about Raiders, and there's a lot to talk about today. Also MLB Opening Day, also flipping March Madness, and today's entire live show is also sponsored by Panda Sups, which I'm excited about because they let me do whatever I want, but that's because he's been a real one for a very long time. Let's go to the first super chat coming in here from John Akala. What do you guys think about proposal to eliminate automatic first downs on a defensive holding or illegal contact defensive penalty, especially on 3rd and long? I liked it a lot, quite frankly. To me, I think that it should be a 5-yard penalty and you move them up a little bit. There's definitely like different situations where it could kind of bite you in the butt a little bit, especially if you're a team on offense and trying to move the ball. But I think it should be a 5-yard penalty. It does not bother me whatsoever. The only way that I might change that, and it's kind of has to be like the NBA rule where if it's like an automatic, like to the lane, you kind of get the 2 points. If it's like clear as day that somebody's trying to hold him to prevent him from being able to go deep, there's got to be a difference between holding and then also pass interference to get that automatic first down. I know that I owe you guys a boot, and I will promise I will get to it in a second. We were 2 minutes late today because our computer crashed right before we were getting ready to start the live. So some of the graphics are not quite fully loaded in yet. That's why you guys haven't seen Chuggs. As soon as our computer system tells us, all right, we're good to start moving some stuff around. You'll see Jeremy, and then once Jeremy pops up on the screen is when I'll try to put the boot down. No, Nathan Wolf says, let's get this party started. Nathan Wolf! Bang! All right. Chuggs, if there's any way you could give a few shout-outs here, let's get some LCAs. Let's get some Nathan Wolfs going. Here's my deal. Every time y'all make me do a boot today, I'm doing either Miller Lite or Coors Light, which, I'm not going to lie, I forget which one is which. Any of y'all Miller or Coors Light drinkers out there, can you tell the difference? I don't know. One of them's Coors. One of them's Miller. I'm putting this one down, though, for LCA. And then I'm going to put another one down here for Nathan Wolf. I'll show you what the deals are here in a second. But if you've ever wanted to be an MVP on a show, today might be the perfect day to be an MVP. And I'll tell you about that deal here in just a moment.
Let's go. We got Taino. We got King. Who else we got? Let's go. We got Raider Bill, Raider Nation, Steven, King Javier, Zalesbo, where's the flag? Steven, Robert, Jason, Kevin, Javier, Big Poppy, Josh, Vinthrak, Sean, all spamming LCA. Let's go.
Oh, man. First one down the hatch, man. First one down the hatch, man. So the reason why that boot just happened is because Cameron on Tuesday, again, went absolutely psycho, man. Hang on, I got a burp. It's coming from my toenails. One more. All right. I'm good. Sorry. One of my biggest pet peeves is when I hear somebody chewing with their mouth open. So anytime I feel like I burp on this show, I apologize ahead of time. Nathan, so far is the MVP of today's show. And that's all I'm going to say. Nathan Wolf right now is the MVP of today's show. And the special deal that I have out there for you is this, Nathan. Whoever is the MVP to anybody out there of today's live show, you get to be a presenting sponsor on a video that I do tomorrow. So if you want, Nathan, I could literally open up the show as, hey, tomorrow's show, Raider Nation, what's going on? Presented by Nathan Wolf. Or if you want to do something kind of like what LA Crash Dog did a few months ago, where he did saveawarrior.org, tell him Father Tom sent you, you could do something along those regards. So, whatever would be up to you. And I want to be able to do more of this kind of stuff in the off season. So whoever's the MVP of today's show, you get to pick the sponsor on a video that I do tomorrow here on the Raiders Report. So, Chuggs, can we show them what the deals are today? Because I got my baseball bat, and I'm going to have some opening day deals, and I want everybody to be able to participate. I want everybody to be able to have a good time here on today's episode. So here are the deals. If you send in a $5 super chat, I'm going to consider that a single. You're going to get on base. That's going to be one sip from me. If you send in a $10 super chat, that is a double. That's a sip for Chuggs. It's a sip for me. And if anybody out there is watching and you want to have a drink with us, I hope that you participate in the game as well. Since we're doing so many duck races today for March Madness, if you send in a $20 Venmo, we're going to do a duck race at the very, very, very end of today's show, because I know there's going to be a lot of people that are like, oh shit, I want to do a duck race. Well, you're going to be able to do one at the very end. You're going to be able to win some money. Every $100 super chat is a bang, and I'm going to do a bong out of this bat here, which is actually never an easy thing to do. And every $200 Venmo, that's going to be a grand slam, and that's going to be a boot. But it's going to be either Miller Lite or Coors Light, because that's what we have in the fridge. All my home runs are going to be happy dads. So a lot of happy dads out there. Nathan Wolf, cheers to you, my man.
Hold on.
Woo, man. I'm telling you what, it's Thursday. I'm down to get down if y'all are ready and down to get freaking down, man. We do have a few super chats that I want to be able to get to. Hashtag Raiders or super chat. to skip the line if you want to get those questions, comments on today's show. And again, the entire live show is presented by Panda Sups. Go to pandasups.com, use code DRAFT, and you're going to be able to save 25% off all of their amazing supplements out there. Where the hell did this happen? Nick Sanchez! Bang! Get out, ball! Get out, ball! Let's get this show started off the right way with my first bang. I'm telling you what, these type of shows can get out of hand a little bit quickly, but I am prepared. I'm prepared. I ordered lunch today through the Chat Sports crew. I had 2 tacos and a monster quesadilla. I don't know where we got food from today.
Oh, it was a taqueria.
I'm prepared, dude.
It was a taqueria.
I'm ready to go today, man. And you guys are going to be able to tell. I'm going to be able to put some drinks away, no doubt about it. Now, I will say this. Because today is MLB opening day, I'm a big baseball guy. I want to know, who is your favorite MLB team? We're going to give some shout-outs on today's show. I'm a Mets fan. Chuggs is an Astro fan.
Which
I know we're going to see some Dodgers people here today, which I'm still a little bit bitter about that playoff game.
I've been trying to get it up. Since MLB absolutely sucks, we won't be able to watch the Astros game. It's the
Mets game.
The only option on ESPN is the Yankees. And then the Lions and Dodgers game later.
The Lions.
Or the Tigers.
I was going to say, unless I missed something, I didn't realize there was a Lions MLB team.
The Tigers.
No, I got you. I see Dodgers from Guardian of the Realm, St. Louis Cardinals from Ruthless, Phillies fan from King Shav, man. I know I always say this, but one of my groomsmen, he was the catcher on my baseball team in college. He makes Bryce Harper's bats. He works for a company called Invictus, small company in the Philadelphia area, but they make a lot of the bats. He also makes the bats for the, I believe, shortstop for the Mariners or the center fielder, Rodriguez. I don't watch as much baseball as what I used to. I watch the Mets from time to time. Giants from Big. I see Daryl says L.A. What up, man? Los Doyers from Raider Prime. I did Justin Abgen, hopefully you're doing all right, my man. Probably with all these Ashton Jeanty rumors, my man's probably doing great. But he was a big Dodgers fan, and I remember y'all made me dress up as Mookie Betts last season for Halloween, which was a big old stake to the heart after that Mets series. Which, I love the fact that y'all are down to get down like that. Let's go to Gutierrez. What is the number 6 pick? Trade back worth. Obviously, it depends what exactly it is. Also, Gutierrez, I saw your very first comment on this live stream. He was like, I'm dropping a deuce. So hopefully you're all cleaned up and you washed your hands after sending this in. To me, I want the Raiders to trade back, and I know it's probably an unpopular opinion, but I want the Raiders to trade back, and I want the Raiders to take, and if they're unable to trade back, I want them to go for an Armin Membu and a Will Campbell. I know that DJ Glaze is a good offensive lineman, and I know that he had a good rookie season. But to me, I am also going to look at it as, what do I want to do? And I want to build the trenches. I want to build the trenches for the long haul, and I think that we have an opportunity in order to do that, because I think the other thing that people also forget, Parham's in the last year of his contract, and DJ Glaze was somebody that I actually thought could be an offensive guard in the NFL. So what if you were able to go get an Armin Membu, a Will Campbell, you put them out at tackle, and then maybe you let Dylan Parham go the following season because this is not part of this regime, and then you could potentially kick, DJ Glaze inside. I like Glaze a lot. Has a great head on his shoulders. I've had the opportunity to talk to him a bunch, but I want to build the trenches, and I don't think that that's a secret to anybody that is really, truly ever watching this show. And I think that we know a lot of times how I feel. What up, Raider Rez? Thank you so much, man, for tuning in to today's show, brother. Much, much appreciated. Oh, shit, dude.
John Rodriguez.
Oh, I'd love to get Jeanty, but I'd rather move back and get Membu and get more picks and get Watts in the second. I love Ashton Jeanty, and I don't want people to get it twisted and think that I don't think that he is a phenomenal prospect. I really do. I think he is a great player. But at the same time, I do want the Raiders to be able to build the best team all around. I think Watson II is a phenomenal pick. But when you look at how many good prospects there are, and this is what I want people to do, look at how many good prospects there are in like the top 50 to 60 picks, and then there's a little bit of a tier break, and then there's another big tier break. If I was the Raiders, I would try to stock as many picks as I humanly possibly can in that top 60, top 100, top 120 range, and I wouldn't give a shit about the 5th, 6th, 7th round. This is a draft where it is very, very top-heavy, and I'm with you. I want the silver and black to try to trade back. Let's go to the next one rolling in here on today's show. John, I appreciate the question. I really, really do. Also, one of the things that you're going to see here on today's episode, current MVP. Right now it is Nathan Wolfe and Nick Sanchez are tied for the MVP. They each have one bang. Well, that is until this just happened. Lord Cameron Abbott! Bang! The Cameron with the grand salami! If you don't spam LCA, get the hell out of here, dude. If you don't spam LCA, get the hell out of here, dude. Get out of here, man. Chuggs, you got a boot in you. Or are we too early for asking for a Chuggs boot? How about this? I got this one. Chuggs has got the next one. But we have to get into a segment here soon because there's going to be a select few people that see this Ashton Jeanty segment that I'm going to do. And somebody's going to be like, this guy is feeling a little bit litty-titty. I see Jose Ramirez. I see Excavator. I see Flower Power Barbecue. What up, Taino? It's my guy right there. Jason, Raider Release, Big Papa. I'm telling you what right now, if you weren't ready to party here on today's Thursday show, then I don't know why you came. Giggity. Raider Gaines, what's up, dude? This dialogue gives me JJ Diva vibes. Gruden, what happens if an NFL coach tries to correct you? Jeanty, I'll do what worked for me in college. Here's what I'm going to say. Based on the people that I've talked to that know Ashton Jeanty, he's actually got some of the best head on his shoulders. That was going to sound weird. That's the boot. That's your fault, LCA. But this was a young man. Think about, first off, one of my favorite things that I saw that Jeanty did is at the NFL Heisman ceremony. And I got no problem with guys, in today's day and age, if Shador, Travis Hunter, if these other players, they're showing up in Gucci, all this like designer stuff. Ashton Jeanty showed up with a Boise State, I don't know if it was a sweatshirt, shirt, or whatever, but he went there repping his team. And something that really resonated with me, and I don't remember the exact quote that Jeanty said, but it kind of reminded me of what JPJ said last year of when you play for the team on your front, they're going to bless the team on your back. And every player, every coach, the things that they've said about Jeanty is loves football, is going to be an absolute grinder, and he's going to do and he's going to say the right things. I don't know what the context is of what you're saying here. Obviously, you don't love that because you want to be able to work on your game in the NFL. It's a lot different. But at the same time, that could just be Jeanty going, I don't know what the NFL's like yet. I'm going to trust my gut. And obviously, I did a lot of the right things in the NFL, or I did a lot of the things the right way in college to be in the situation that I'm doing right now. But I hear you. Richard Black! Bang! Hey. Another.
Careful, that's a light.
Oh, I think I ripped it. Yep. Well, that's off to a good start. I ripped our light up there. There's no way I'm going to get yelled at for that. That'll be our little secret. Don't tell anyone. Yep, don't tell Sam. All right, well, let's get this boot down. And then, can you do that one for me, the beer bong?
Yeah.
Chuggs has got a few for me. This is going to go down, but I got to get into the first segment here around Ashton Jeanty. Richard wants Jeanty at number 6. No trade back. If you want Jeanty at number 6, Actually, who do you want the Raiders to pick at 6? I know we're going to get a lot of Ashton Jeantys, and here's the thing. If the Raiders walk up to the podium and they take Jeanty at 6, I'm not going to be mad about it, right? Like, if the Raiders take McMillan, not going to be mad about it. If the Raiders take Will Campbell, Armin Membu, not going to be mad about it. Like, I do think there's a lot of picks that the Raiders could go that I would be okay with. One of the videos that you guys are going to get over the next few days, and I don't know when exactly I'm going to put it out, Chuggs, and I filmed it yesterday, surprise picks at number 6. And those would be picks where I'd be like, oh, man, I don't know if I would have taken that guy right there. Richard, Chuggs did that one. This one's for LCA. I want to get through a few more supers. And then we're going to get into that very first segment. Slurricane. What does that say?
Boo time. Happy Thirsty Thursday to everyone out there that celebrates Raiders.
Oh, man. I really underestimated how tough that was going to be. I haven't done this many boots in a while. I'm going to be able to do it. I might also be a little bit of a slurricane later, but that's on you guys. Nick Sanchez, what do you got for me, man? Don't get me wrong. As an
Idahoan,
I would love for Jeanty to be in silver and black, but we have other holes to fill before we can worry about a running back. And I think like this is the argument. It's not, and I don't think anybody looks at Ashton Jeanty and goes, I don't think Jeanty's really good. There's not a person alive that doesn't think Jeanty is an unbelievable talent. The problem is, though, you don't want to fall into a situation, and I think the Saquon Barkley Eagles is maybe the easiest way to explain it of, Saquon of the Giants was good. Saquon of the Eagles was amazing. And if you're drafting a running back at 6, you need him to be amazing, not just good. So you need the other 10 players to have it all figured out on the offensive side of the football. I think that's really, really important. And then also on top of that, you need somebody that can pass protect. You need somebody that can do it all. I think Jeanty can learn to get better, but there's other running backs that are better in the passing game and better pass protectors than somebody like Ashton Jeanty. Chuggs, can you get this one for me?
Rebel, Marsh dropped this last night. It's an L. Lakers W. I'll make sure that L gets to Marshall, Rebel. I'll make sure that he gets it.
Oh, man. I watched that game last night a little bit. Who did they play? Clippers?
Yes.
I was going to say, I tuned in last night, and one of my favorite things, Reb, also, appreciate the message you sent to me the other day, Rebel. You didn't have to do that. Rebel sent me a message, and this goes out to everybody that watches this show. Last week it was Rebel's birthday, and there was a lot of people that showed him love. I got to send you another jersey, by the way, Reb, so that should be in the mail. Be on the lookout for it in the next month or so. Hang on, I got to burp. But Rebel messaged me and said, thank you to everybody that was a part of his birthday show that we did the other day. And I want you to know this, Rebel, and you got a wrench next to your name for a reason. You are somebody that we talk a lot about in the Chat Sports offices, and it's probably one of the things that I am the most proud of it. You don't only have a relationship with us here, you also have a relationship with a lot of other Chat Sports studios and a lot of other, people that do this for a living. And it is a huge pat on the back as a company when you get somebody like Rebel Montana on your side. But at the same time, dude, I love to be able to crack it up with you. Anyway, we're going back here to Marshall. I tuned into Marshall's stream, and anytime the Knicks are losing or the Giants do something, he'll sit there sometimes and won't say anything for a minute, right? 30 seconds, and you can tell he's down bad. But what I love about Rebel, and this is how when you have a friend, when you have a really good friend, when your buddy's down and you can poke him, you know what I mean? You poke the bear a little bit. Rebel's not afraid to poke the bear, and big old salute to you, my brother. And I hope you had an amazing, amazing birthday. And I'm happy that the jerseys that I wear fit you. That's what he told me.
Are we still doing the March Madness / other duck races today?
I would like to. Yeah, we gotta try to get through some duck races today. We gotta try to get through some duck races today. Cameron throwing up an alley-oop is wild. I will say this. I will accept alley-oops, but I'm not drinking beers for alley-oops today. My beer drinking is for boots and bangs. That's how that's going to go down. I'm just letting you guys know ahead of time. We do have a few people that are getting in our duck race today. So what I want to do here real quick before I get into the first segment around Ashton Jeanty, there are a lot, and I mean a lot of duck races that we got to do for March Madness today. We got to do 16 in total. 16 in total races. And the way that this show has already begun, it's going to be interesting. Let's just say that. Also, we do have a few people that are getting in our duck race. It is a $20 Venmo. It is at Mitchell Renz 365. So if you want a chance to win a little bit of money today, right now the people that are in, Nathan Wolf, I gotcha. I see LA Crash Dog. What up, Gunny? You're in. Norman Hernandez. You're in. Sean Irish, I gotcha. Also, Sean, I forget which comment you had on a video that I put out recently. I responded to you, but really, really appreciated the comment that you dropped there, dude. Anthony Green, I got you. Patrick Roche, I gotcha. LCA, I'm going to put you in. So it's a $20 Venmo right now for a chance to win $70, and we're going to do that at the very, very, very end of today's show. So we're going to be looking at the Las Vegas region, and I don't know if we can, that's the round one games. Yeah. It's just what? It's a little slow?
Well, I'm just trying to find it.
Oh, I gotcha. So if you want to get in the duck race today, it's a $20 Venmo. It's going to be at the very end of today's episode, and it's going to be a bunch of ducks, and people are going to be going balls to the wall. So just be on the lookout for that. Oh, man. Cameron! Up to now, man! Bang! Come on, dude. I mean, I will say this. I feel like today, and I love a good alley-oop, I'm not going to lie, but back-to-back jacks could be pretty insane. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go through one time, and I'm going to show you the races that we're going to do today. First, out of the Las Vegas region, we're going to do Stephen Corbell up against Brent Wilson, a.k.a. Annette. Then the next race is going to be Philip Bogert up against Nathan Wolf, followed by Roger Braun, Richard Kelly, and then Patrick Roche, Francisco Ramirez. Those are going to be the first four races that we do. The next four races out of the Los Angeles region, Patrick B. up against Jason Garcia, followed by Chris Aguilar, then against Ivan Perez. Finesse Lounge going up against Keelan O'Leary. Then Misty Williamson up against the 2-seed Ryan Campbell. Number 1 seed later on, Johnny B. Good. We'll find out. Rustin Long against Blaine Craig. David Vergara Jr. up against Rupert Daniel. Followed by David Rubio, Justin Salazar in the Brockton region. LCA going up against Adrian Leone. Marcus And up against Anthony Green. Raider Sancho against Ron Raspberry. And then the final race of today, Eric Mitchell against 93 Nabman. So essentially the way that we're going to do all these races is I'm going to do 4 races right now. And we're going to do them out of the Las Vegas region. I'm going to do that first segment that I have, Ashton Jeanty. We'll get to it sometime today. And then we will, after that first segment, it's going to be 4 more duck races, which will be the Los Angeles region. And then the 4 races after that, Las Vegas. 4 races after that will end up being the Brockton region. So 4 races, segment, 4 races, segment, 4 races, segment, 4 races, and then the big duck race at the end. Essentially how we're going to do today's show. We'll get some shenanigans as we always do in between each segment. But man, oh man, today is already, and I mean already, been off to a extremely wild start. Adrian Leone, you, sir, are in, and then 93 Nav, you, sir, are also in. First race of the day, 3, 2, 1. Let's rock Let's rock today. All right, man. At the end of the first quarter, Brent Wilson, he is up maybe 2 or 3 points right now up against Stephen Corbell. I'm telling you this right now. Brent Wilson, the 16 seed, has the 16th seed ever advanced to the Sweet 16. I don't think so. Right? No way, right? Because the 16th seed only has ever beaten a 1 seed once or twice. Twice now. Purdue and Virginia. But then they lost that following game. Brent Wilson! History in the making! Come on, dude. Advances to the next round into the Sweet 16. Reminder, whoever wins our Raiders Report Duck Race competition, you're going home with $1,600, man. Like, $1,600 ain't chump change. That's pretty freaking sick, dude. Congratulations, man. So moving on to the next round is Brent Wilson. Congratulations to you. Which means the next race that we have coming up here is going to be Philip Bogert up against Nathan Wolf. So Nathan Wolf started today's show off with a bang. I'm just going to say this. When you put good energy out in the world, good shit happens. Nathan, not going to lie, I'm going to be rooting for you. Though, Phil, you race all the time, and there's nothing but love right there. 3, 2, 1, let's get it going. Wolf up against Bogert. Who do you got? Give me a W for the Wolf man, a B for Bogert. I love Navman just commented, ow! What up, Ren? What up, Lord? Desert Raider. We will get to some Raiders content today. Don't worry. I promise you. We'll just do a little bit of different things here and there on Thursday. It's a good day in sports today. If you weren't excited waking up today, then I don't know what you were excited about. Nathan Wolf, you need to put on the turbochargers. I think it's going to be Philip Bogert. It is going to be Philip Bogert with the win. Emmanuel Sanchez, cheers to you, brother. Cheers to you. Bridget Rivera, cheers to you. I'm you, so we got to get one linebacker. We will get a linebacker. I don't know when, but we do need to get a linebacker. Philip Bogert, survive in advance. Congrats to Bogert. The good part about that is Phil watches this show all the time, so I'm happy that he was able to get a dub. Happy that he was able to get a big-time dub. Next race coming up, Roger Braun against Richard Kelly. We still got this one more, and then the next segment is going to be around Ashton Jeanty. Richard Kelly. So Kelly is the 14 seed. Roger Braun is the 11 seed. So low seed is going to be advancing to the Sweet 16. So that means in the next round, Philip Bogert up against Brent Wilson. And then it's going to be Richard Kelly, Roger Braun. Here we go. Here we go. Roger Braun, Richard Kelly, dude, this one's neck and neck. I don't know who's going to get a dub. I think it's going to be Roger. This was a strong race. Very strong race by Roger Braun. That was a convicting race. I mean, you're talking about an 11 seed that you're watching right now going, I think they can make it to the Elite 8. That was impressive. That was an impressive run right there. The final race, and then we will get into our segment here around Ashton Jeanty because I'm telling you what right now, and I'm somebody that loves, you guys know, I'm somebody that likes smoke and it leads to fire. I like rumors. I like being able to look at the tea leaves. I like being able to, create a plan in my head. When you see the first segment that we do on today's show, you're going to be like, holy shit. I think Ashton Jeanty might be a Raider. Patrick Roche, Francisco Ramirez. This is a 10 seed against a 15 seed, which right now we have a 16 seed, a 5 seed, and an 11 seed all in this bracket. If Patrick Roche advances, he's the 10. If Francisco advances, it's a 15. What an upset this would be. Patrick Roche has got the lead. Somebody's got to put some turbochargers on. I think it's going to be Francisco. He's blowing them out. Where you at, Patrick? Francisco, the 15th seed, Ramirez. Oh, man. Dude, the Las Vegas region right now is upset city. I love it, man. You gotta love it. Manuel Ruiz, I got you, brother. You are in our duck race. That's going to be at the very end of today's show, which right now, Manuel Ruiz, you in $20 Venmo for a chance to win $100. If you're watching these duck races up on screen, I know they're dogs, okay? But we call them duck races here, and I don't want to have to explain that every time we do it. But if you want to get in one of these races for a chance to win some money today, $20 Venmo. It's going to be at the very, very, very end of today's show. So that means we got one segment to get to, and then the next race that we are going to do is going to be Patrick B. against Jason Garcia, which I know this is going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. LCA and alley-oop to 93. Nabman, reverse double hand slam. Thanks for the feed, Cameron. ESPN poster dunk. I mean, I'm telling you that one of the things I think we got to try to get like a basketball hoop. Just like a mini hoop and just dunk on people. There's no way I'm going to break anything. There's just absolutely, positively no way that anything would ever break. All right. Who's ready to talk a little Raiders today? If you're ready to talk a little bit of Raiders, let's get some Raiders down below. What up, Preston? Not trying to overreact, but we need Armin Membu as our first round pick. No running back, no wide receiver or corner. I don't think that you're overreacting. I think that people don't love offensive linemen because it's not a sexy pick. And, you know, I would say, think about Colton Miller, right? Colton Miller has been a pillar on this Raiders team since the Raiders drafted him in the first round all the way back in 2018, and that was a pick where people didn't love, you know? But if you're telling me right now, if we draft Armin Membu, like, he's going to be somebody that's on this Raiders team for the next 7 to 8, 9 years, and he's going to be a pillar on that offensive line. I know that a lot of people love Ashton Jeanty because he's a running back, or people fall in love with, like, I love Teterow McMillan as well. He's a wide receiver. But I really do think teams that you see year in and year out are very good football teams. Like look at the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, the Eagles have won more games recently in the past 3 years, I believe, actually, than Kansas City. But I think it's because of how good that offensive line has been and how good it is year in and year out. When you have an O-line that is a top 10 unit every single year, makes your ground game better, makes your QB better, makes your receiving game better. It just makes everything so much easier to be able to go out there and work with. It's like, you know, you could have a great chef, or you could have a great restaurant. But if your chef sucks, your restaurant's not going to be doing all that well. I'm somebody that wants to get a great chef, and then that's going to help make the restaurant a little bit better. That's kind of what an offensive lineman would be, at least in my book. Though, if you just want Instagram ready, I got plenty of places down for you down here in Dallas. So, first segment coming up here on today's show, Joe Salas. I see you, my man. I got you. You're in. $20 Venmo to win. Right now, $110 here on today's episode. So the first segment that I got coming up on today's episode of the Raiders Report is going to be all around Ashton Jeanty. And I'm telling you this right now, there is a lot of smoke around Jeanty. And if you didn't see his pro day yesterday, you missed out. It was a clinic, an absolute clinic. But I know I wasn't the only one that noticed. And I know there were some really, really important decision makers for the Las Vegas Raiders that were also there. David Zahn, what's up? Mr. Zahn, it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. So, Jeremy, when you're ready, give me the thumbs up. And we will get into the news and rumors today is going to be all around Ashton Jeanty. And if you're somebody that wants the Raiders to draft Jeanty, you're going to love this segment. I'm just telling you right now. You're going to absolutely love it. And I'm somebody that likes to, paint a picture. There is, in my mind, I've been somebody that has said, I don't know if the Raiders will take Jeanty at number 6. After what I've heard and seen over the past 24 hours, I would say there's a better chance that the Raiders are taking Jeanty today than what I thought, yesterday. Cool. Coming up, let's talk a little bit here about Ashton Jeanty. Fill in the blank, draft or pass. The Raiders should blank Ashton Jeanty at number 6. I'm Mitchell Renz. You're watching the Raiders Report. And coming up here on today's show, the Raiders clearly love the Boise State running back, and there was a real chance that they could end up taking him at number 6 overall in round 1 of the 2025 NFL Draft. So coming up here on today's episode, I'm going to tell you that the Raiders, for a fact, are interested in Ashton Jeanty. And after some of the rumors from yesterday, the chance of this happening, where he's in silver and black, are growing and growing and growing. And I'm going to tell you, you got to wait for the last one. The last one on today's show, a lot of people are going to go, yo, shit, man, Ashton Jeanty might actually be a Raider. Before I tell you everything that you need to see here on today's episode, huge shout out to our sponsor, Panda Sups. Use code DRAFT. You're going to be able to save 25% off at pandasups.com. So what we're going to do is I'm going to roll through here of why I believe that the Raiders could draft Jeanty and some of the things that we have heard and seen over the past 24 hours. The first one, John Spytek was at Boise State Pro Day yesterday, and no disrespect to the other players at Boise, there was one reason and one reason only that a bunch of NFL teams, all 32 NFL teams, in fact, showed up to Boise yesterday. It was to see Ashton Jeanty, somebody who I actually thought probably should have won the Heisman. Spytek is here chilling out, which, you know, he had the opportunity to talk to some different coaches, had the opportunity to talk to the Boise State head coach, which is actually what this picture is right here. This is Spytek talking with Boise State coaches at the Jeanty Pro Day. But, like, I know we talk a lot about Pete Carroll, and I know, like, this channel has been a channel that has talked a lot about the decision-making of head coaches, especially in the draft. John Gruden was terrible. Josh McDaniels was terrible. But Spytek's going to be the one calling most of the shots in the draft. And if you were to ask me, if it were to come down to what Pete Carroll and Spytek think, they're going to say that it's a team. They're going to say that they're in the same, you know, they're both have the same power. But overall, Spytek, I think, is going to be the decision-maker in the drafting process. Jeanty looked incredible in all of his drills. And you know, it sounds kind of weird because the dude didn't have a shirt on, but then you got to remember DK Metcalf with Pete Carroll. That guy was absolutely ripped, and Jeanty looks like he's in incredible shape. What I love, though, also, he showed the ability to catch the football. If you're going to draft a running back at 6, you're going to need him to do absolutely everything. And it's not that I don't think that he can catch the football, and I know when you look at his numbers in 2024, he didn't have to do it. But I think it was like he didn't have to do it. Boise understood what the assignment was. We're going to smash the football. We're going to give him 25 to 30 touches every single game, and we're going to figure out a way to put a ball in his belly. Because when you do that, good shit happens. Let's go to the next reason here of why I think that the Raiders could draft Jeanty at number 6. The Chip Kelly offense. And I know a lot of times when we talk about the Chip Kelly offense, it is a spread offense. A lot of times, you know, you think of vertical passing attack. But Kelly does run the football a lot. So I went back and I looked. And I saw what Chip Kelly's offense looked like for the Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers in these 4 seasons. So they ran in 2013, 30.8 times. That was 5th most in the NFL. 2014, 29.8, 7th. 2015, 11th. 2016, 6th. So that's all 4 years. Huh? This is rush attempts per game. All 4 of these seasons, you can see that he's top 11. Chip Kelly is going to want to run the football. No doubt about it. This is something that he's going to try to do. And then when you look at what Chip Kelly was able to do in college, on top of that, and this is important because Kelly was the UCLA head coach from 2018 to 2023, and then the OSU OC in 2024. As you can see, that first year, number 73, but always, and I mean after that, from 2019 to 2023, they're top 40 in rush attempts per game. Ohio State last season was a little bit lower, number 95, which when you see how they ran their offense, though, they ran not as many plays as every other team just because of how quickly they would score. They wanted to be able to run the football effectively, but because you know Chip Kelly is somebody that does really value the running game, Pete Carroll values the running game as well, though when you look at the past few seasons, when Carroll was there in Seattle with Geno Smith, they didn't throw the football nearly as much. But I think it's because of how bad that offensive line was and how, they really couldn't get the ground game going just because of how poor the interior offensive line overall was. Now, we've got more reasons coming up here in just a moment. But if you find yourself looking for more draft videos, if you want tons of live coverage around the Raiders, around the 2025 NFL Draft, make sure you click that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on your notifications because I promise you, if you're ready to rock, if you're ready to party for 20-plus hours on the NFL Draft days, make sure you're tuning in to the Raiders Report. Let's go to the next reason here of why I think that the Raiders could draft Jeanty at number 6. The Raiders are really big on relationships this year, right? I mean, we've seen it in free agency. We've seen it all offseason, how important relationships are to this regime, to this organization, and the Raiders have made it a point to meet with Jeanty as often as humanly possible. Jeanty, in fact, is the only non-Ohio State running back that the Raiders met with at the Combine. The Raiders also met with Trevion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins, who is very close to Chip Kelly. The Raiders clearly value relationships, which I feel like every time I've talked about a player of why the Raiders signed somebody, you can go back and go, well, there's the connection. There's the connection. And especially the running back that the Raiders brought in this offseason, Raheem Mostert, was with Chip Kelly in 2015 and 2016. But not only did they meet with him at the Combine, they also have a top 30 visit with him. So you got a top 30 visit, you met with them at the Combine, and then you think about this entire cycle and how it's gone with a relationship-building standpoint. We got more reasons coming up here in just a moment of why the Raiders, I believe, could go out and take the Boise State running back. Before I get into it, though, I'm rocking Panda Sups today. They're the sponsor on today's show, and I don't know what Panda wants at pick number 6, but I do know this. He's here for the nation, and if you use code DRAFT, you're going to be able to save 25% off at pandasups.com. I don't care if you're looking for protein, pre-workout. Maybe you want something that's going to help you sleep. Maybe you're looking for a fat burner. If you're looking for something to have a healthier gut, their greens are something that I love a lot. One of my favorite products, though, that they have right now is their Super Nootropic. And whether you're a gamer, whether you're trying to make your most out of your workday, maybe you're somebody that's trying to do the best in school. We all have that point in the day where you feel a little bit of a crash. You take a scoop of the Super Nootropic, dude, you're going to be locked in to exactly what you need to be doing. And they also have some best sellers if you want to see some of the other products that they have. No matter what, though, 25% off, code DRAFT, pandasups.com. If you spend over $100 and you live in the United States, domestic shipping is how I would say this. You're also going to be able to get a bag and a shaker pictured right over there, but you got to go to pandasups.com. You got to use code DRAFT. That link's going to be available to y'all down in the comments and down in the description of today's show. Let's go to another reason here because I said earlier that all 32 teams went to Boise's Pro Day. All 32 teams had somebody there watching Ashton Jeanty. But in my mind, there were only 6 teams that had their running backs coach there. And I don't know the dynamic of every NFL team out there. I'm not going to sit here and act like I do. But I would imagine the teams that are the most serious about drafting Jeanty would have their running back coach in attendance at the Boise Pro Day. Well, there were only 6 teams that had their running back coach at the Jeanty Pro Day. The Giants, who picked number 3, the Raiders, who picked number 6, the Saints, who picked number 9, Broncos at 20, Steelers 21, Vikings 24. I look at a lot of those teams and I go, I think that's kind of interesting because I don't think Jeanty's going to go to the Giants at number 3. Maybe the Saints take him at number 9. Like, that could be a potential there. But a lot of the other teams that I thought maybe could go the Jeanty route are the Dallas Cowboys at number 12. Maybe the Chicago Bears at number 10. But, like, he ain't falling in 20, right? Like, there's not a world that exists where Ashton Jeanty's fallen to the 20 to the Broncos, 21 to the Steelers, 24 to the Minnesota Vikings. So, to me, I look at that and I go, out of all those teams that we just looked at that had the running back coach there, I would say the Raiders are the most likely to take Jeanty in round 1. Coming up next here, though, the cherry on top. And I like somebody that's, rumors, where there's smoke, there's fire. When you see this next thing that I'm about to bring up around Jeanty, I think a lot of people are going to go, all right, yeah, I think Jeanty's going to end up being a Raider. I'll tell you what that is in just a moment, but today is opening day. I'm a baseball guy through and through. Was able to play college a little bit, played professional baseball in Germany. But I'm a diehard Mets fan. The Mets are playing the Astros. That's Chug's favorite team. I want to know down below, what is your favorite MLB team? I'm going to be looking, especially for y'all Dodgers fans. I got a bone to pick with you. Who? The Los Doyers. Let's go to the next one here. After the Ashton Jeanty Pro Day, after the Boise State Pro Day, I don't know how many of y'all know this, but Jeanty sat down with the Raiders and had dinner after the Pro Day. In my mind, I would go, all 32 teams are there. Jeanty had dinner with the Raiders, not any other team, but the Las Vegas Raiders. So I saw this tweet from Takeover Sports Podcast. Shout out to them. I was in their DMs. I was talking to him. Really good dude. Seems like he's doing his thing. A big Dodgers fan from what I see. My roommate is serving Ashton Jeanty and the Raiders GM right now at the restaurant she works at. Laughed my ass off. So obviously I had to DM, and I had to do a few other little connections. I messaged some other people, but based on the information that I received, so it was John Spytek, the Raiders running back coach, Dylan McCullough, who was with Notre Dame last season, the Boise State head coach, Spencer Danielson, and Jeanty. Those four, I was told, at a high-top bar, and the restaurant that they ate at was called the Matador Restaurant. You can Google it right now. Though, when you look it up on Google, it says Matador Boise. It's less than 2 miles away from the facility, and the dinner happened at somewhere around 6:40 p.m. Eastern Time, which was a few hours after the Boise Pro Day. My point is, I know how important relationships matter to this regime. I also know that all 32 teams were there. I also know that the Raiders were one of 6 teams that had their running back coach there. So you're telling me after the Boise State Pro Day, the head coach of Boise went to dinner with Ashton Jeanty, with the Las Vegas Raiders, with John Spytek, and with their running back coach. I'm telling you what right now, I am a believer of that type of shit really matters to this team, but it also really matters to Jeanty because he's got this small town mindset where when you look at everybody that showed up at the Heisman ceremony, people are rocking Gucci, Louis Vuitton. Ashton Jeanty showed up in a Boise State outfit. Why? Because he's rocking with his team. And when I saw that, I originally thought of what JPJ said last season. When you play for the team on the front, it's going to bless the team on your back. Ashton Jeanty is a freaking dog, and I do think that after the last 24 hours, there is a better chance that the Raiders do end up selecting Ashton at number 6 overall in round 1. So overall, if you watch today's show, I want y'all to just put on that thinking cap. That's what the Raiders Report is about. I'm not sitting up here saying that it's going to happen, but you have to admit, after hearing everything that you just heard on today's episode of the Raiders Report, you're probably sitting there going, all right, yeah, I kind of think that Ashton Jeanty could be a little bit of a higher probability that he could be the pick for Las Vegas at number 6 in the 2025 NFL Draft. All right, y'all, we got 831 people tuned in right now to today's episode. Huge, huge shout out to everybody that tuned in. Much, much love and appreciation. If you want to get those questions, comments on the show, it's hashtag Raiders, or you can super chat. I'm not going to lie, it's been a while since I've done a segment where I was buzzing like a bee a little bit. I could feel it there a few times. There was definitely a few times.
Is there anything that Jeanty could order at this Matador restaurant that would make you out on him as a prospect?
It's a great question.
If you were serving him and he was like, I'll take the plain cheese quesadillas.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, that would be a sin. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Because it is it looks like a Tex-Mex Mexican restaurant.
Now, on the flip side, if he was like, I'll take the menudo.
Oh, dude, if he ordered menudo, I'm in. I'll take him number 1, trade up for him.
Dan said, I'll take the tacos with ketchup.
If he ordered tacos with ketchup, I don't think he goes in round 1. I think he completely falls out of round 1. No, but my point is, when you hear that, though, right?
I'll take the beefsteak.
Like him having dinner, bringing his head coach with Spytek, with the Raiders running back coach at a restaurant, and, that might not be a big deal to everybody, but I also think about the reason why I ended up going to the college that I went to is because when I tore my ACL, nobody wanted me. And the one coach in the school that I ended up going to drove 2 hours out of his way. Shout out to Scott Kushner, one of the OGs. But he drove and had dinner with me and my family. And, that's a big deal. Now, it's not a nice, fancy restaurant, but here's the thing. I don't need a nice fancy restaurant. And I don't think Jeanty does either. It's more about communication, talking football, and I don't see why this young kid who I talked to would make that story up.
Raider Nation, what if he ordered Panda Sups? You take him immediately. You take that man immediately.
I mean, I'll tell you this. Based on the way he looks like all he eats is Panda Sups. Quite frankly, that guy is shredded. Many asking about Sacktown Raiders surgery. It has been postponed. It will happen, but he is not happy about it. Not comfy for me to give more details. And
all good.
All good, man. But I appreciate you, man, keeping us in the loop. Reminder, we are going to do a mailbag.
We do need more questions.
At the end of today's show, Chuggs is saying that we need more questions.
We have a lot of super chats, but only
I want free agency, trade, draft questions.
I was going to say only half the super chats are actual questions because the other half are double reverse slams and then dunking on Marshall as well. So
double reverse slams. You just tune into a Raiders Report mailbag and it's like double reverse slam. You're like, all right.
Off the backboard.
Off the backboard. Here we go. And I mean, I get it. Sometimes that shit's going to happen, but I love it.
Hashtag Raiders in the comments section. Let's get some of these races done, and then we'll get into our next segment, which is...
Next segment is an ESPN mock draft. But again,
that's the one that
I haven't seen it, though. So Chuggs built and did this entire show. Our boss here at Chat Sports was like, I want you guys to do this show today. And I said, Jeremy, would you be on board for doing it where, like, I don't look at it? So it's going to be like a live reaction. I don't know what the picks are. I have no idea how it's going to unfold. But that's kind of what happens. Not kind of. It's what happens, obviously, on the NFL draft. So I'm going to like some picks. I'm not going to like some picks. You're going to see my instant reaction to all of them. So it's going to be fun. I see Misguided Angel. What up to you, man? Appreciate you tuning in. Raider Nation 75.
And current MVP, Lord Cameron Abbott, is the current MVP with 2 bangs. I guess 2.5 bangs. We're just counting bangs.
We're just counting bangs today. So LCA is the MVP as it stands right now. So Cameron, if you do end up being the MVP at the end of today's show, you're going to be the presenting sponsor on a show that I do tomorrow.
And if you want to, I know not everybody could have got into the March Madness.
Yep.
If you want to get in on a duck race at the end of today's show, $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365.
Yeah, the last name that I saw was Joe Salas, which right now it is $20, and you would go home with $110 on today's episode. But that's going to be at the very, very end.
We got Patrick B. We got a 1 seed up against Jason Garcia.
All right, so the next race that we are going to do, we are doing a Raiders Report March Madness duck race, and we got 4 more races, and then we will get into the next segment around that ESPN mock draft. We got the number 1 seed, Patrick B., going up against an 8 seed and Jason Garcia. Chuggs, when you're ready, let's get it rocking. Patrick B. starts off with an early lead. Oh, man. I will always root for Mount Raider more, and it's nothing against you, Jason. I've actually had some good conversation with you. I hope that we can link up in Las Vegas sometime.
He's safe.
But I'm going to root for my man, Patrick B., though Garcia's got the lead right now at halftime. Got a lead right now at halftime.
Astros up 1-0.
Astros are up 1-0 against the Mets. Oh, really?
I feel like Rolly's probably melted.
6 seconds. Somebody's got to make a move. Patrick B. I'll tell you what. That was a hell of a race by Patrick. I really thought Jason was going to have it. Mr. B, you advance to the Sweet 16.
Tell him what the B stands for.
It stands for bang.
All right, next up is Chris Aguilar.
Chris Aguilar going up against
Ivan Perez.
So we got 12 seed. 12 against 13 seed. Next race would be Finesse Lounge and Keelan O'Leary. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Ivan Perez out to an early lead here. Winner of this race is going to be taking on Patrick B. in the Los Angeles region.
As soon as I said, what does the B stand for, Patrick in the chat, bang!
It's a bang!
Man on
what up, Pat? Congrats,
man
dude.
On first, Yordan Alvarez up to bat.
Shitting bricks.
Rolly's in the home run section right now.
Oh, it's true. Rolly's actually at that game.
Imagine you drove 5 hours to watch your team get whooped.
Dude, that would suck.
Couldn't be me.
Come on, Ivan! What a comeback! Come on, bring him in! Get down! Get down! He's safe! Ivan Perez with the win. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
My dad says, let's go Mets. Also, Richie Renz, you in?
Sorry, Richie. Astros are going to win, buddy.
Here's the thing. The Mets, statistically, are the best opening day team in the MLB.
They were before today.
I actually think even if they lose today, they are still the best. I forget what the stat is, but it's over the last, I forget how many years, they've won the most opening day games.
Finesse against Keelan O'Leary.
Connor Luther, let's go Mets. Come on. Finesse Lounge against Keelan O'Leary. This is a 6 against 14 seed. The next race is going to be Ryan Campbell up against Misty Williamson. Finesse Lounge.
Cast Joey
Bang! Get out, ball! Catch Joey!
Oh, I think it's Finesse. I think it's Finesse.
Come on, Finesse! Come on, Finesse! Finesse Lounge. You in there like swimwear. What did he say? If it's not Jeanty, I'll be pissed.
You've been on him for, when we were eating and hanging out the other night, or a couple of weeks ago, you were on Jeanty. Pause.
He was all about the Jeanty hype train.
Oh,
he's also
wow.
a Dodgers fan, so he's doing this to rub it in my face a little bit.
This might be.
You got to, dude, Cash just got a brand new dog. It's adorable.
This might be the best round of 32 matchup we have.
All right, what is it? Misty Williamson against Ryan Campbell. Bro, Cass, cheers to you, my man.
Here we go. Here we go. We've got a neck-and-neck race. I think it's tied. After the first quarter, it's 10-10. Misty Williamson maybe takes a 2-point lead, maybe going into a 5-6-point lead here. It's still close at halftime. A 7-point lead at halftime for Misty.
Come on.
Both dogs are going back a little bit. Fourth quarter time, Misty's got
this is usually when Ryan Campbell
10-point
shines.
lead. 10-point lead into
this
fourth
is going to be close. Somebody's got to hit a turbocharger. Ryan Campbell. That's why he's a 2 seed. Misty, that's a hell of a race. Misty wins 9 out of 10 times. The problem is she went up against the 1 out of 10 and Ryan Campbell.
If they play him 10 times, they might win 9. But not tonight.
You advance.
Tonight, we skate with them.
So that means in the Los Angeles region, Patrick B up against Ivan Perez. And then Finesse Lounge up against Ryan Campbell. We got a segment coming up here.
Tonight, we play with them.
What's that from?
Miracle on Ice.
That's right. I was like, I thought hockey.
Play them 10 times, they might win 9. But not tonight.
You had a little coop in you.
Tonight, we skate with them.
Tonight,
we play with them. Tonight, we beat them. And show them that we belong.
I think that's also what the U.S. cricket team said that time that they won a few years ago.
Also, Astros up 2 now.
Jesus.
Diaz singled to center. Paredes scored. Walker to second.
Brutal.
1 out. Men on first and second.
Brutal.
And Jeremy Pena up to bat, which
absolutely brutal. One of my favorite skits that Family Guy does is it's like the Mets skit where Stewie's sitting at the game and it's like, it's opening day here for the Mets, and it's like first pitch and it's a home run and the season's over. Like, it is one of my favorite skits. If you've never seen it, go check it out. I didn't do it justice, but
Nathan Wolf's a Cubbies fan.
A Cubs fan.
Nathan, please take care of my King Kyle Tucker. Astros just scored again.
Jesus.
Pena grounded into a fielder's choice to the shortstop. Walker scored on a throwing error by second baseman Acuna.
The hell are we doing?
And up to bat, rookie phenom Cam Smith. He singled in his first at bat. Will he get his first home run?
What inning is it in?
It's the third.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what inning? Christ, dude.
Yes. Multi-sport out. He's like the Deion Sanders.
Oh, Dan, I know. Though, I do think again, it's game 1 of 162, right? Baseball is the ultimate proof of you don't need to play well now, as long as you're playing well at the end.
And he lined out.
Nice. This guy sucks.
Rookie sensation up to the mound, and he's out. He's out.
But, if he lined out, I'll tell you this. That's when you're a hitter and you square a ball up really well and you still get out, it's unbelievably frustrating.
John, thanks.
What happened? John, I'm watching this show while showering.
Soapy rumors.
I can tell. The water looks pretty cold from here, John. The water is icy. Icy. Though, I listen to podcasts, too, when I'm in the shower.
I can't.
No?
I can't. I can only listen to music. I feel like if I try to put a podcast on,
You're just rubbing your body, scrubbing your balls, and John's right now at this point. And it's Chuggs and I.
Bro, but I'm a big singer in the shower.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me at all. That's the least surprising thing I think you've ever said on this show.
But I feel like I can't focus whenever it's if I have a podcast or something on. I also
can't focus when there's a podcast on? Like what? You can't focus on the task at hand?
No, I'm saying I can't focus because the shower's making too much noise on what they're saying.
Where do you put your phone? Where do you put your phone? I'll see. I get a Ziploc baggie and I'll just put it in the shower with me.
Oh no, you know they have waterproof speakers you can just use.
Yeah, but a Ziploc baggie works just fine. Dude, get a Ziploc bag, put your phone in there, seal it up, flip it around, and you're good.
Mitch puts his phone in a Ziploc bag, and then he puts in his AirPods.
Dude, about 5 years ago, I saw some person, and every day I saw them swimming, and they had AirPods in. They would swim in a pool. Now, maybe they have, waterproof AirPods. I never even looked it up. But I swear, they would put AirPods in, and then they would go swimming. Also, that's Cass's new dog.
Oh,
dude, it's if anybody follows Cass Joey on Instagram, go to his Instagram, look at his story. It kind of makes me want to get another dog, dude. Not going to front. If it's Jeanty, if it's not Jeanty, I'm going to be pissed. Also, not happy. Pats match the offer. F New England. Good note. Opening day. Doyers.
Go
Yeah, I was definitely shocked that the New England Patriots did match that Kristen Ellis offer, which 2 years, $13.5 million.
Killa Cruisen's in Germany right now working out.
Killa? What up, Killa?
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Ein bisschen. Means a little.
I thought that was Tex.
Maybe. Un poquito is, I believe, Spanish. Ein bisschen is a little in German. Ich sprich ein bisschen Deutsch. Ich gewesen in Köln für ein Jahr.
Tex ein bisschen producer?
Yikes. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a response to that. I don't have one for you. Let's go to Nathan Wolf. What odds do you think team trades up for Jeanty? Kyle Brandt, all about it. I'm telling you this right now, dude. I think Chicago is a team to watch out for. I think Dallas is a team to watch out for.
I don't think a team trades up more than 5 picks to get Jeanty.
Unless they're the Dallas Cowboys.
You think the Cowboys trade up more than 5 picks? That means they would have to trade up to 6.
I'm not saying it's likely. I'm saying if a team does it, I think Jerry's crazy enough to do it.
I think if the Bears do it, they move up a couple picks to get him before like the Saints or somebody. I think if the Cowboys do it, they do it right before the Bears.
Interesting. Okay.
Or like the Bears would move up with the Raiders or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Russell Wilson going to the Giants actually helps the Raiders' ability to trade back, and I kind of explained that on the show that I did yesterday.
Was that Yankees pitcher a submarine guy?
Maybe. I mean, imagine being that tall and being a sub pitcher. Couldn't be me.
Looked like he underhand threw that ball.
Looked like Tyler Shuck under pressure. Gotta get rid of it. Gotta get rid of it.
That's your number 2 quarterback.
I mean, he's good. He's not number 2. I don't think so. I don't know. I'm not going to get into the whole Tyler Shuck debate. All right, y'all. Next segment coming up here on today's episode. Mike Van Leuven. You, sir, are in. $20 Venmo right now for a chance to win $130 doll hairs.
Wait,
here on
look at this.
Today's episode.
Okay. That one wasn't as bad.
That's a 90-mile-an-hour sub-lefty. That's Sperry, just 20 miles an hour slower. Nah, probably 15 miles an hour slower.
Slower?
15? Slower, yeah.
Like Sperry throws 15 slower.
Then 89? Probably.
Okay. I thought you meant like that's 15 slower than what Sperry could throw.
I mean, if Sperry's doing sub and he's throwing 100 from the lefty spot, I promise you this, he ain't here. He's getting paid a Roldis Chapman type of money. Because, I mean, again, lefties typically can't throw as fast. So the reason why lefties have a lot more natural tail, I don't know what it is, but it's because of the arm. I don't know what it is. But it has something to do with the way that a lefty throws a ball where there's natural tail. But typically you don't see a lefty throw as hard as somebody on the right side because it has to do with the left shoulder and the right shoulder.
Is it kind of like how if you flush a toilet in Australia, the water goes the other way? Is that how it is? Like if a lefty was throwing in Australia, they'd throw faster than a righty?
Only if they also drive on the other side of the road.
Okay.
I think it's probably the only way.
Okay.
Coming up here, we're going to get into an ESPN mock draft. And the fun part about this, I don't know the picks. This was made by Chuggs. I have never really done this before. All the mock drafts that I've ever done have either been, by me or I know what the picks are. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be a live reaction. I don't know how the picks are going to unfold, but the way that I wanted to do this is because if you enjoy this next mock draft that I do, you're probably also going to really like what we do here for the NFL draft because you never know what's going to happen when it comes to the Las Vegas Raiders. You got to stop. Coming up here, let's get into this ESPN mock draft. After that, we got one mailbag, and I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of down to get a little bit down after that. Kind of down to get a little bit down after that. Also, we have 4 more duck races. The next duck race that we are going to do is going to be out of the Oakland region, and that's going to be Raider Ron against Johnny B.
Everybody say it with me now. Let's go, Stros.
Let's go, Mets.
Let's go, Stros.
Mets. No, dude. Mavs
in 5.
I actually think the Mavs aren't going to have a basketball team in 5 to 10 years. I don't think Dallas is going to have a basketball team here in 5 to 10 years.
You think the 4th largest market?
I don't think that they're going to have a basketball team.
That makes no sense.
Okay, we'll see.
That's like being like, yeah, Miami's not going to have a football team.
I don't agree with that at all. And I don't think that Dallas is as big of a market for basketball as what people think it is.
For sports in general, it's a top 5.
For sports, it is. I'm saying after the
Basketball's a
Luka
sport.
trade, huh?
Basketball's a sport.
Yeah, but it's not really in Dallas. Like, to me, you're not wrong, but
You can say that about every other.
I do think that trade from Luka, they lost so many fans, and they're gonna lose a lot of season ticket people. I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't have a team in 5 to 10 years. I wouldn't be. Dude, that's my bold take. How about that? It's my bold take.
Whatever, man. I'll bet you.
I'm not gonna bet.
I'll bet you 4,000 that they will be here. If they're here,
4,000.
Well, no, if they're here, you owe me 200. If they leave, I owe you $4,000 in the next 3 years.
That's not what I said.
Next
3
5
years. All right, how about this? Next 10 years. 10 years. You give me $4,000 and I'll give you $40.
Well, what if the economy goes so bad that $4,000 is really like $50,000 by then?
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I don't. This is just like our Aiden O'Connell MVP bet.
And how did that turn out, Mitchell?
I'm $50 poorer. That's how that one. That was DeMokes' fault, though, to be fair. DeMokes led me into that one. Coming up, let's get into this ESPN mock draft. You ready? All right. Let's do it. Coming up right now. ESPN mock draft time here on the Raiders Report. I'm Mitchell Renz, and the next mock draft that you're going to see, I have no idea how this unfolded. Jeremy Chuggs built this entire show, but I wanted to be able to do this so that way people who are new to the program could see what a actual live instant reaction to the NFL draft could potentially look like. If you are trying to tune in and party with us during the draft, I would definitely appreciate it. Also, today's mock is presented by Panda Subs. Use code DRAFT, 25% off at pandasubs.com. So Matt Millar released an entire 7-round ESPN mock draft for picks for all 32 NFL teams. It's like 257 picks overall. I'm going to go through and I'm going to look at every single pick that the Raiders had, all 9 of them. And if you are planning on joining us for the NFL draft, here's going to be the fun part. Last year, we had 283,000 people tune in. Last year, we went live for 20 hours, 47 minutes over those 3 days. You're going to get the picks here on this channel before you see them on TV. And if that's something you're interested in, I hope that you hit that subscribe button. So the Las Vegas Raiders, okay, they have 9 picks in total. You got the first round, the pick that the Raiders ended up trading away for Geno Smith. That one was lost in round 3. So right now, as it stands, you have 9 picks in total, okay? And we're going to go through here, and like I said before, I have no idea how this mock is unfolding. So you're going to see my live instant reaction to the picks that the Raiders are making, just like you would see it live and instant reaction on the actual draft day. So the first 5 picks of this ESPN mock were Cam Ward goes to the Tennessee Titans, Abdul Carter goes to the Cleveland Browns, Shedeur Sanders to the New York Giants, Travis Hunter to do the New England Patriots, and then Mason Graham is going to the Jacksonville Jaguars, which means the Raiders are on the clock. And who would you pick? Would you go with Teteroa McMillan type TM? Would you go with Armin Membu type AM, Ashton Jeanty type AJ, or if there was another player that you would pick, type other, and give me that name down below. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show, so scroll on down, give me your answer. My answer coming up here in just a second. If it was up to me, I'm not ashamed to admit this, I'm going to go with Armin Membu. I want to be able to build in the trenches, and I believe that sometimes when you go an offensive lineman, it's an unsexy pick. But people probably said the exact same thing about Colton Miller, and he's been a staple on this team for a long time. I personally would go with Armin Membu because I want to win in the trenches. And I think John Spytek has a similar mindset to that. Let's go, though. First pick coming up here in this ESPN round 1. Teteroa McMillan, wide receiver from Arizona. I mean, I'm not going to be upset if this is the pick. He is the true number 1 wide receiver. I think it'd be a great fit with somebody like Geno Smith. He is the only receiver the past 2 seasons in college football that had over 1,300 receiving yards, and it's not a secret. This team needs another receiver. You got Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers are your top 2 target getters. Trey Tucker, I love the athlete, but he's still very unknown in terms of what he's going to be able to bring to the table, and I need somebody that I can rely on down the field. McMillan can run an entire route tree. I love what he brings to the table, and I would be okay. I would be happy if this was the pick. Here's what ESPN had to say on why they decided to go this route. Ashton Jeanty has been a popular pick here in mocks, but have you seen the Raiders wide receiver depth chart? Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly will want to run the ball, but they didn't trade a 3rd-round pick for quarterback Geno Smith to have him hand the ball off 35 times per game. The Raiders need receivers more than running backs, and new general manager John Spytek might determine that he can wait and pick from a deep running back class later. Receiver isn't as deep, so Las Vegas should grab McMillan, whose 6'4" frame and ability to win contested catches has won him fans around the league. Some point to the lack of separation ability, but McMillan has enough juice to make tacklers miss underneath. That combined with his physicality and toughness at the catch point would make him the Raiders' instant wide receiver 1. And when I look at him, I kind of see a Mike Evans, a little bit of a Drake London, a good overall possession receiver, good hands. But one of the things that I love is Geno's ability to throw fades. I think he's actually one of the best fade throwers in the league. He statistically is the #1 vertical passer in the NFL last season. If you don't believe me, go check out my tape video that I did on him. But because of that skill set, I like the pick there of Tetairoa McMillan, which now means round 2, pick number 37, the Las Vegas Raiders are going to go with Trevion Henderson. All right, dude. I mean, that's back-to-back really solid picks. I love the wide receiver. I love being able to get Henderson here at 37. I actually made a video earlier today. I put it out on my social media, at Mitchell Renz 365. One of the reasons why I like the idea of you passing on Jeanty at 6 and going with Henderson at 37 is his ability to be an instant contributor in the passing game. He can pass block. He can pass protect. He can do a lot of different things, which obviously I love that standpoint. The Raiders also know him very well. He was with Chip Kelly last season. But when you think about all of the good, he's a home run hitter. You got to have a better offensive line. I'm not going to lie. I'll kind of want to see how some of these other picks end up going. But here's what ESPN had to say. New Raiders offensive coordinator Chip Kelly coached Henderson last season and knows what he can bring to the offense as a slashing runner, elite receiver, and top pass protector. After passing on running back in round 1, will reunite Henderson with Kelly in Las Vegas. He'd be penciled in as a day 1 starter alongside Geno Smith, Brock Bowers, Tetairoa McMillan to form a fun offensive nucleus. And I mean, you can't deny that, right? Like, if the Raiders are going to be a little bit cheaper, which they've been in free agency, you do need a running back. You do need a wide receiver. You're able to go out and get those 2 players that also have a lot of coaching connections and relationships to this organization. Like, Chip Kelly obviously knows Henderson well. Tetairoa McMillan knows Pete Carroll's son, Brennan Carroll, the Raiders offensive line coach, very well from their time together in Arizona. So that's back-to-back interesting connection picks. I can't wait to see what the Raiders do in round 3, pick 68. Landon Jackson! Dude, I'm telling you this right now. If the Raiders start their draft off with frickin' McMillan, Trevion Henderson, and Landon Jackson, I'm going to be ecstatic. I'll admit, I don't think Landon Jackson's going to be on the board here at number 68. And, you know, going edge, it's not really a big position that I would say is a need for the Raiders because I have a lot of confidence in this defensive line. However, I would spin it along the lines of if you're looking for a K'Lavon Chasen replacement, somebody who's long, lanky, really good athlete, I could see them going this direction with Jackson. And here's what ESPN had to say about them going this route. The Raiders locked up Max Crosby, but the team's first-round miss on Tyree Wilson in 2023 looms large. Jackson's 6'6", 264-pound frame fits the Raiders perfectly as a 6 technique. And this has also been something that, you know, John Spytek has kind of looked at down in Tampa Bay where they've tried to go out and find longer, lanky edge players that can do a bunch of different things. You're going to be able to allow him to pin his ears back. A lot of the notes around Jackson is he's a really hard-working guy, and being able to have somebody who's long and lanky also be able to work next to Max Crosby, who kind of is that same build. Jackson doesn't have the bend that Max does, but I'll tell you this right now. If the Raiders start their draft off with those first 3, I would say, in my mind, the Jackson pick might be the best player available. I would have loved to see what other linebackers were available there, maybe a free safety who would have been available there. But let's be honest, like that's a phenomenal start here to this draft. Let's go to round 4, pick 108. Dorian Strong. All right, so cornerback from Virginia Tech. I don't know too much about him. I know he's a good athlete. I know he's long. I know he's lanky, which 6'1", 185 kind of fits the bill of what Pete Carroll typically looks for in a corner. 32 tackles, 2 INTs, 6 PBUs last season for the Hokies. And I know corner is a need for this team. But my concern now is we don't have a free safety and we don't have a linebacker where we did at least address corner. And, you know, we had the Cameron Richardson, Eric Stokes, Jacorian Bennett, some of these younger guys, but they are adding some competition. Here's what Lance Zierlein had to say, and I think Chuggs did tell me after the 3rd round there weren't any more notes from ESPN of why they went with the picks. So you're going to see some, I guess, overall scouting reports from some different people around the NFL that we trust. Long, instinctive cornerback who can be a disruptive press corner or can scan the field for ball production and zone. Strong as average play strength, getting off the blocks and tackling, but it doesn't bother his press redirect or ability to effectively contest catches. So a lot of that stuff that I read, some versatility there for him, and one of the things that the Raiders do look for, especially Carroll, and this is what he's done since Seattle, if he looks at somebody that's long, lanky, and a good athlete, he believes in his coaching ability, and you should believe in Marcus Robinson's coaching ability to get the most out of a player like that. I want the Raiders to have a young cornerback room because I believe in Pete Carroll, and I do believe in this regime's ability to build corners. That pick, if you believe in Marcus Robinson, the Raiders cornerback coach, and if you believe in Pete and you believe in Patrick Graham, you should like the Dorian Strong pick a lot because I think Marcus Robinson kind of has that love and respect around the league, very similar to what somebody along the lines of Rob Leonard has. I'm telling you this, though, if we're at this point of the draft and we still don't go out and get a linebacker or a free safety, either A, we better have signed one before, or I'm hoping that round 5 is going to be in that direction. So round 5, pick 143 is, oh shit, Will Howard, quarterback from Ohio State. I'm not going to lie, I could see this happening, and I actually did another video earlier, I think it was yesterday, about I believe that the Las Vegas Raiders do end up taking a quarterback on day 3 just based on some of the meetings that they have. Chip Kelly just won a national title with Howard, and when you look at this Raiders quarterback room right now, it's a little bit thin on the back end, right? I do think Aiden O'Connell is a good quarterback too, but to me, in my mind, this Will Howard pick is you're letting Howard sit for 2 years at least, and you're letting him learn, and you're letting him compete with Aiden O'Connell. That's going to get the most out of AOC. That's going to get the most out of Howard, who does need time to be able to, get it going. But since that Geno Smith is going to get a contract extension, this is a 2 to 3 year project, I would say, with Howard. Kind of like what the Green Bay Packers did with Jordan Love, but Love was a round 1 pick. Here's what Zerloin has to say on Howard. Howard brings outstanding size and toughness to the table. He showed good improvement over the last 3 seasons. That I agree with. He is more a vessel of the play caller than a playmaking talent, though. He typically reads half of the field, makes responsible decisions with the football using good mechanics and consistent accuracy. I don't fully agree with the consistent mechanics part of it. I have said multiple times on the show that when I watch Will Howard, he is a product of Chip Kelly, and you could just tell how great Chip Kelly is. You could also tell just how stacked the Ohio State roster is from receivers, tight ends, offensive line, running game. Howard was, I almost could make the argument, the weakest link on that Ohio State offense last season. I would have loved to know if Kyle McCord was available. I would have loved to know if, Jalen Milroe would have been available, but I'm not, if the Raiders end up taking Will Howard, I'll sit up here and say, just like when the Raiders drafted AOC from Josh McDaniels, it does make a lot of sense to me. Before we get into round 6, and we still got, 4 more picks here to go. What'd you say? The next pick by the Raiders is going to be Panda Sups. And if you're watching our draft coverage, if you plan on hanging out with Jeremy Chuggs and I, day 1, day 2, day 3, you're probably going to have those drinking pants on, and you're probably going to need some Panda Sups products. I know this. I don't know if y'all have noticed. I've actually dropped 10 pounds in the last 2 months, but I've also bulked up here a little bit. I'm getting ready to get in my wedding shape, and Alex has been putting in some work, and she's making me look bad. So I know today's show is probably not going to help with all the beer that I've consumed, but if you are trying to get in the best shape of your life, huge shout out to Panda Sups. Use code DRAFT, 25% off at pandasups.com. The products that I use every day, I use Panda Sups Creatine, I use Panda Sups Protein, and I use Panda Sups BCAAs. Those are products that I do actually use every single day. One of the products that I know Panda's very proud about is their brand new Super Nootropic, and it's a product that, sometimes if you're a caffeine drinker, but you want to be able to get rid of, the unhealthy energy drinks, this is, I think, actually a product that you should really consider. It's also... It's caffeine in a way for your brain. It's going to wake up your mind instead of waking up your entire body. So sometimes I drink a lot of caffeine, and I have a little bit of a crash at 2 or 3 o'clock, which is when I go live for the show. You take a scoop of the Super Nootropics, you're going to be locked in. If you're a gamer, if you're a student, if you're a normal person who just crashes after their lunch at work, this would actually be a great way to help you wake up and you don't have that caffeine, lull part in your day. If anybody out there does spend over $100, you're also going to be able to get a shaker and a Panda Sups bag. The only way that you're going to get that, though, is if you live domestically here in the United States, but also you got to use code DRAFT at pandasups.com. That link's going to be available to y'all down in the comments and in the description of today's show. Let's go to round 6, pick 180. Still no linebacker, still no free safety. I'm kind of getting nervous, and now we're going to go with offensive lineman Bryce Cabledew, 6'4", 306-pounder. Based off of what I see right there, don't look at the stats. Obviously, those are not correct stats. 306 pounds at that size is a little bit undersized. Some of my friends, though, are Kansas fans, and because they are Kansas fans, I've actually watched some football. He's somebody that some people do think he could be an offensive guard, and I do think that he's probably a little bit more suited to be a guard in the NFL, but the scouting report that we have on him is this. He clocked a 4.95 40-yard dash. That's pretty good at that size. 1.7 10-yard split. He also put up 30 reps on the bench and clocked a 4.59 short shuttle. Those are actually really good numbers. Plays through the whistle, embraces the mauler mentality as a run blocker. He has a powerful upper half and uses that strength to steer defenders in any direction he chooses. I'll say this. I would be a little bit surprised if the Raiders elected to go offensive lineman instead of going, again, free safety, linebacker, because this is an organization that I do think actually values their offensive linemen a lot more than even I believe or a lot of people around the NFL believe. They like Thayer Munford. They do like DJ Glaze. They like Jordan Meredith. They like Alex Kappa. If the Raiders end up taking an offensive lineman, I think it's probably more of a tackle than a offensive guard, offensive tackle prospect, but one offensive lineman I do expect in the draft. If they ended up going at, again, if they're taking offensive linemen over some of those other needs, I would be at least a little bit confused around why they decided to do what they decided to do. So the next pick for the Raiders here is going to be in round 6 at 213, and it's got to be a linebacker or a free safety, right? It's going to end up being, oh my God, another offensive lineman, Chase Lunt, which actually I've taken Lunt before in a mock draft. Really big overall lineman, but very skinny. This would be a prospect that you're going, all right, we're going to put him in a weight room, and because his tape is good. The PFF grade, I remember watching him before. He some versatility to him. I believe he's a right tackle prospect too, off the top of my head. But when you're this tall and you're that lightweight, like, you got to be able to put some more meat on those bones, and you're hoping that it's just like every man. Like, you're going to grow up to be an adult. You're going to be able to put on a little bit more weight. That would be really important for him. But back-to-back offensive lineman to me is interesting. Highly experienced collegiate right tackle who is likely to be in consideration a tackle or guard due to his lack of length. Lunt is strong in his core and hands. He does a nice job balancing through contact and using good hand placement to secure his run block. So I've talked about Lunt before. Again, I would be shocked if the Raiders took 2 offensive linemen before they take a linebacker or a free safety. I have no problem you trying to build depth in your interior at all. But I actually don't think that the Raiders would take 2 offensive linemen in the draft because, again, I actually do think that they are a lot more confident in their offensive line play. So let's go to the next pick here, round 6, 215. Another lineman. Are you shitting me? Yes, this is Matt Millar. I don't think he actually knows the Raiders all that well. 6'6", 314-pounder Hayden Connor, who had a PFF grade last season of 70.9. I'll be real. I don't know much about Connor, and I'm not going to sit up here and act like I do. So I see Chuggs has a note here from Lance Zerloin. Experienced guard with the measurables to get longer look from NFL teams. Connor has a broad, well-built frame, and his natural power is evident when he lands with some momentum. He's played well against Michigan's Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant. I like that a lot, but a lack of athleticism makes him scheme-dependent. Well, I do think that Chip Kelly does a good job of being able to get the most out of his offensive lineman, but if you're not an athletic lineman, I actually don't think you're going to have as much success in Chip Kelly's system in the NFL compared to maybe somebody in college. I love, though, the fact that in the notes he did well against Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham, because I'm somebody where I'm not going to sit up here and go, I love the NFL Combine. I want athletes. I want guys that can play football, right? Like, I want good football players. And if he played well against those two guys, then that's a good pick at the value. But 3 straight offensive linemen, I mean, come on, y'all. Y'all are even watching the show live, instant reaction with me. That's kind of crazy. 3 straight offensive linemen, no linebackers, no free safety. The final pick here, if this is an offensive lineman, we're shutting the stream down. All right, Daquan Felton. He is a wide receiver for Virginia Tech, had 32 catches, 360 yards, 2 touchdowns. I forget who's the person. I had somebody DM me him the other day because he's a good athlete from what I understand, or he has the build. Because when you look at somebody at 6'4", 215, you're like, this is a really, really big player. Height, weight, speed prospect whose production suffered from the scheme fit and quarterback play in 2024. Felton is a linear mover who needs to be used as a heavier dose of vertical routes to be effective. That I love because Geno is a very good deep ball passer in the NFL. He's honestly top 3 or 4 in every metric that is important in the league. He's a nonchalant route runner underneath with below average hands and run after the catch ability. All right, well, that almost makes me feel like he's, imagine a 6'4" Keelan Doss of a little bit, underwhelming of a player who, maybe we don't know a lot about, but if you can go down the field and you can win, and if you can high point balls because of Geno's ability to throw fades, I think it's kind of interesting. So I love the way that this mock draft started, and I'm a little bit disappointed that round 6 went the way that it did, because I really do believe if they would have decided to go linebacker and free safety, that would have been cool. I understand why they went with Will Howard, but I'll tell you this, those top 3 picks right there, McMillan, Henderson, and Landon Jackson, even Dorian Strong, I can get on board for. So how would you guys grade this mock draft? A, B, C, D, or F? I want you to let me know down below your grade. For me personally, if this was the actual draft and this is how it unfolded, I'd probably give it a C plus, B minus grade overall, somewhere in that, because I do love the first 3 picks. Like, I do. I don't understand the 3 offensive linemen. I'm not going to get it twisted. I get why they decided to go Will Howard, but no linebacker and no free safety. Oh, man, I'm not going to lie. That one makes me a little bit nervous. For how well it started, I'm a little bit disappointed how it ended, which Alex probably says the same thing all the time. I would sit up here, though, and I'd say C plus, B minus. It's a good draft. I like the top of it, but this to me is Matt Millar not fully knowing a lot of the needs of the Raiders, which again is why somebody should subscribe to the Raiders Report, because I think every Raiders fan watching this show right now is going, yeah, like I don't think that would happen. And sometimes when you get these, NFL media guys, they don't cover the team the way that we do. They don't know the team the way that we do. 3 offensive linemen, I would be shocked, because if that happens, that means they're trading away multiple players on that line, because they already have a line that they believe in. If you're looking for more draft content, make sure you click that subscribe button, make sure those notifications are turned on, and make sure you tune in for our live NFL draft coverage. I wouldn't mind the first 3 picks. Those other, Matt, sorry, bro, not going to get on board with that. Lord Cameron Abbott. Bang! Get out, ball! Get out, ball! That makes a gong with the Venmo. Hang on a second here. Let me double check. I don't know if I see that. I see right now, LCA, I got you down for 3 bangs right now. This one, and then the Venmo. So, unless my math ain't mathin', which from what I'm just going off of what I see. I have you down for 3 bangs. I'm not trying to step on toes. I'm not trying to get you angry. But that's what I see. Am I wrong? I don't know. That's what I see. No. He's got 1 bang, which is this one, and then the Venmo. That's 3. All right, hang on a second here. man. Hang on. Everyone stand by. Stand by. Stand by. I just don't. Oh, okay. I'm not going to lie. It got hidden. All right, that's on me. Lord Cameron Abbott. Lord Cameron Abbott. My man, LCA. You know what they say? It's fun to stay at the LCA. Spam Lord Cameron Abbott down below. You got a boot in you?
Yeah, I can do it.
You got a boot in you? Because my boots are, they're a walking right now. Yoda Jenkins, 15-yard penalty on Mitch. Yep. Sometimes my math, it just doesn't math well. But that's where I need y'all to be able to call me out. Cameron, you know I love you. That's on me. That's on me. Robert Jansen, Rebel Montana, Yoda Jenkins, John Fallon, all showing love to Lord Cameron frickin' Abbott, dude.
I know.
Oh, man. I'm not going to lie. Some of these happy dads are kicking my butt a little bit. I see Mike Van Leuven. You are in. Rustin Long, I got you in. I see Raymond Sanchez, you in. Raiders Sancho, you in. Sean Morgan, you in. $20 Venmo right now. You're going to go home with $170 here on today's show. Lord Cameron Abbott is today's MVP. And he put a message in there. LCA said, this is for Nab Man. I want him on Raider more. I'll tell you what, man. That's Nab Man is I think is the obvious next choice to probably get in Mount Raider more, which Nab, you already know that. Wild, man. That's shit's wild, dude. Real recognize real. All right, so Chuggs is going to do a boot. Can you put it where it's like we're the same size?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can come up here. I don't really care. I think you're good to do it over there. I'm going to have to take a pee here pretty soon. I'm busting out the seams. If you want your question mailbag later, please start the question with #Raiders. Maybe that is why Chug's not seeing many mailbag stuff yet. Very true. And again, the way that our system works is we get a lot of comments on here, right? And that's not people see that. But at the same time, the way that our system works for the computer is when you put #Raiders to start off your question, like Nav's telling you right there, you're going to be able to see it just kind of like saves it for us. It's probably the best way to explain it, right? Like you put in a question, Chug's not need to see it. You put #Raiders and it just gets stored over here. And then it's easier for us to go get it. Who could the Raiders pick at number 6 that would surprise you?
Shador.
I would be shocked at this point if the Raiders drafted Shador.
What if it was?
I would. I would be shocked.
Would you be shocked at Jahad Campbell?
After the injury, yes. Yes, I would. I know they like him a lot, but at the same time, Jahad Campbell would surprise me. I don't want to give away my answers because I'm doing a video. Like, we already did the video on it. But Evil Mitch, Will Howard, yeah, that'd be a shock. If the Raiders drafted Will Howard at number 6, I would contemplate not doing this show anymore. I'd be like, if y'all aren't going to take it serious, I'm not going to take it serious. Now, obviously, I would still do the show, but I would ragdoll Pete Carroll and John Spytek. I mean it. I drug Josh McDaniels' name through the mud, deservingly so. It would be that level. John Spytek and Pete Carroll will turn into Josh McDaniels for me if they took Will frickin' Howard at number 6. It would be a disaster.
That'd be awful.
That would be the worst pick maybe the Raiders have ever made. And they also took Jamarcus Russell at number 1. That would be bad. All right, Chuggs. I say if you got a boot in you, let's take the boot down.
Yeah. Hey, Amrit Deal, suck it, you simp. I'm not going anywhere.
What?
You're just spamming get Chuggs off the show.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. If Chuggs ain't here, I don't know if I'm here. You know what I mean? Because if you wanted me to produce this show, it wouldn't be what you see. It wouldn't be what it is.
Amrit Deal, go back to whatever Reddit forum you came from and go back to your grandma's basement. This one's for you, buddy.
Chuggs, 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 Chuggs. Sometimes you got to prove why you're called Chuggs. And that was gross. I mean, my boots just don't even look as good. You know what I mean? They just don't even compare. And it's let's get some love for Chuggs down below. Let's get some love for Chuggs down below. That's actually one of the number one ways that I see people that I know aren't a real one. Like, again, and I get it. Not everybody watches every show, especially the live shows, but you know, like if you were at a restaurant or a bar and somebody walked in and just started trash talking your friend, you're not going to handle that well. You know what I mean? I got to pee, dude. It's busting out the seams right now. It's not going to be good. Do you want to host some duck races while I pee?
Yeah, I can do some of the duck races.
Some of the duckies. So the next one coming up here is Raider Ron against Johnny B. Good. I saw somebody say, Mitch, are we doing 2 o'clock?
Yep. Well, Mitch is gone.
I'm down to do some 2 o'clock. Here's how I want to do it, though.
Every 20 is a beer bong.
What? That's not happening. I was going to say every 5, I'll take a sip. Every 5, I'll give you a good sip of beer.
Every 5 is a sip. Every 50 is a beer bong.
How many you got in you?
I'm not the one going to leave.
I might. If it's 50 for a beer bong, I'm pissing here. That trash can's filled. All right. We'll do 5. We're going to do $5 2 o'clock. I want more people to participate. Bro, there's no way I'm going to be able to do 50s. I'm hurting already. And I bet if I had to guess, somebody else is going to hit me with a boot at some point. All right, Chuggs is going to hold down the fort here while I go take a leak. I'll try to be quick. Oh, that ball's going to be a pop-up.
That ball.
Joe, I thought he crushed it.
I
what a terrible throw.
I needed that.
Needed it.
All right, here we go.
Needed it. All right, I'll be right back.
If Ron loses, it's because Mitch left. If Ron loses, it's because Mitch left. Johnny B. Good versus Raider Ron. Ooh. Mets suck. Dude, Astros were up earlier 3-0. They're still up 3-0. 20 seconds, halftime. Raider Ron's down, and it's because Mitch is gone. It's because Mitch left to go to the restroom. Raider Ron with the comeback, though. Wait, is Raider Ron coming back? Raider Ron with the comeback. 5 seconds. Raider Ron! Johnny! Oh. Johnny. Raider Ron, I'm sorry. Mitch did you dirty. Mitch did you dirty, man. All right. Next up, Rustin Long versus Blaine Krieg. Rustin Long. Blaine Krieg. Here we go. Here we go. We need Jeanty, Campbell, Mimbu. Come on, Mitch. Drink. Oh, let's get it. Let's get it. Oh, appreciate that. Hey, yep. Got the fade done this past week. Had to Quispies. Blaine Craig, Rustin Long, a good race. 10 seconds left.
Who won Ron's? Oh, no. That's not
Wouldn't
a good
you
look.
like to know?
Blaine Craig! What a win. What a win by Blaine Craig. Rustin, sorry, my man. Red Eye, I got you.
You really screwed Ron there.
I screwed the pooch.
I told him if you left, you'd probably lose.
Ugh. So you're telling me Johnny B. Good got the dub?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ron, that's on me then. Son of a gun.
He said it's all good. You just owe him a boot.
Oh, man. A boot right now would be not great. Not great. All right, so next race we got is David Vergara up against Rupert Daniel, which this is a 6 against 14. 6 against 14. Vergara's the 6. Rupert Daniel is the 14. Next race we got is David Rubio up against Justin Salazar.
Navman's the enforcer in our chat. He just super chatted. Anyone here disrespects another, I want them out. Jokes around here I'm good with, but if you're not willing to come see me with that, bye.
Deuces.
Navman's scary, dude. That's a scary dude.
I'll tell you this right now. I wouldn't mess with Navman. Rupert!
Wow.
Winner.
Rupert Daniel.
Chicken dinner. Rupert Daniel, welcome to the Sweet 16, my man.
Rupert.
Deion Sanders quote today on Shador, I know where his heart is. I know where he wants to go. Boy. If the Raiders take Shador at 6, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. And again, I really thought Shador would be the pick, but if you're trying to win now, taking a quarterback at 6 just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Rubio Salazar, the final race in the Oakland region. Winner taking on Rupert Daniel. Here we go.
Noah wants to know, how many licks would it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Mitch, I guess you will let us know when you come back from the restroom.
Oh, boy. If I had to guess, how many, in all honesty, it's probably 112. There's only one way to find out, though. Rubio! I'll tell you this.
Rubio.
Salazar better kick it up here into high gear. I don't think he's got enough. It's going to be Rubio. What a win for Rubio. I'll tell you what, Rubio's been a strong competitor here on the Raiders Report over the past month or so. How many licks to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Then Taino says he didn't get it, Chuggs. What the hell does that mean then?
He's not talking about
Not actually talking about a Tootsie Pop?
Mm-hmm.
How many licks would it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Is that like a poop reference? That's the only thing I can think of. No? No, still not? All right.
If you want to get in a duck race at the end of today's show, $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365.
I don't get it. Though Slurricane said 248 licks. Slurricane, thank you.
That's someone who knows his licks.
Oh, man.
Yoda says he likes his Tootsie Pops the long way. And a quick reminder, we do have some other new Super Chats, but I'm going to get to those during the mailbag.
Oh, thank you, Just. I don't know, bro. I don't know some of these inside jokes while I leave. You guys are always doing some crazy shit. If you are trying to get in this duck race, it's a $20 Venmo, Mitchell Renz 365. Right now, you would win $170.
$1,000.
It's a lot of money. I'll tell you what, if that was the case, that's a lot of money. How about this? I'll give you a deal. You guys like a deal? During the mailbag, the next 3 people that get in the duck race, I'm going to give you a free duck. The next 3 people that get in the duck race, I'm going to give you a free duck. What?
We're talking about the Tootsie Pop joke. We're talking about all this. Have you heard like the PMT Big Cat joke with Christian Yelich?
I have not.
And the home run derby?
I don't watch any of those guys. I don't know.
So they made a bet with Christian Yelich 4 years ago that if he ever won the home run derby, that they would 69 each other.
So
he hasn't won. But they said the deal is if he ever wins a home run derby, they have to 69 him.
All right, what's a player in the MLB? We can 96.
No, but their bet is they would actually do it.
No,
not
wouldn't.
like fake do it.
There's no way they would do it.
I guarantee you they would.
You're telling me they're putting Tootsie Pops in mouths?
Yes.
No chance, dude. They wouldn't. There's no way they would. No chance. I mean, I'll tell you what.
People would riot if they didn't. I think people would.
I think people would riot if they did.
I think people would mass unfollow them.
No, they wouldn't.
If that happened and they didn't follow through.
No, they wouldn't.
Sam?
Bro, they're not doing it.
They said they would do it. They said they would.
No chance, dude.
But then again, some people have said they would get tattoos and they didn't get that. Some people said they would do beer miles and they haven't done that. So,
dude, I love you. No chance it's happening. You know what I mean?
I know. That's why that's why we're not making the bet.
But even if, right? Like, there's not a. How would you even know? You're gonna film that? Where are you gonna put it? Who's filming that?
Jerry. Would be.
What's crazy is any of those people could walk up to me right now and I wouldn't know who they were. I legitimately wouldn't be able to tell you who's who.
They probably say the same about you.
Oh, dude, there's no doubt. I don't watch really other stuff. So, like, I hear you guys talk about them from time to time. But I just don't think that it would happen. I think it's one of those things that, like, we say randomly on this show where we just say something and then because you think it's never going to happen.
Oh, I mean, they have repeatedly said it every time he's been on their show.
All right. I'll try to get a Brewers player that I talk to often. I'll see if we can make a bet around him.
Who's that guy from Tennessee that you know? Is he in the majors?
He plays for the Brewers. He was the round 1 pick. No. I mean, he's the all-time home run leader at Tennessee. So for those that don't know, his name's Blake Burke. Shout out to Burke. First-round pick this year by the Brewers. Die-hard Raiders fan. And actually watched this show before he ended up going to Tennessee. And him and I were talking. I can remember, like, back in the day, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to Tennessee. I was like, shit, this kid must be really good. He's from California. But, Burke, if you ever win the home run derby, we got to think of something. It ain't going to be 69.
Mitch and Cullen will 69. I don't even know if that would fit. I feel like his face would be at your belly button.
I'm not. What do you mean?
I don't think Cullen's tall enough to.
I mean, he's kind of shaped like a 6 and a 9. I mean, honestly, it'd probably be more of like a 19. All right, we got to get into this next segment. We're getting off track
oh my God.
here. Cam, I got you in, man. You are in the duck race. LCA, you're getting a free duck. Charles, you're getting a free duck. And then I also see Luis Rod, you get a free duck.
You ain't gotta like it because the hood.
Yoda Jenkins, sorry you just missed out. And Christian Perez, close, but no cigar.
Steven Gutierrez is asking the real questions that we all want to know. Would you 69 a dude for $5 million?
Oh. Dude, $5 million? It's a lot of money. If you're asking, I'd say double it, and I'd consider it. Bro, $5 million, like, it's a lot of money, but it's also your dignity. Like, it's also, like, how long? You know what I mean? Multiple ways in
Sounds
that.
like you put a lot of thought into this, Mitch.
I mean, $5 million, like, it's a lot of money. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. I hope I never have to even think about it. Yep. All right, let's get into the next segment here on today's show. It's going to be a mailbag. So speaking of bags and sacks, let's get some questions in here.
Drop your bags and touch your socks.
Hashtag Raiders or Super Chat to get those questions on today's show. I can't wrap my mind around the conversations that have been had here on today's episode of the Raiders Report. Can't wrap my mind around it. And then after this mailbag, we'll stay live for a little bit longer, answer some questions. What? Yeah, I'll say there's. I hate to break it to anybody watching the show. There's always enough money.
I'm telling you right now, anybody in the chat that's saying there's not enough money in the world for them to do it, they do it for free.
I mean, you're $1 billion, dude. $1 billion? Bro, $1 billion, I bet you there's somebody in this chat that's turning into that blue
I would never do that. No way. For no amount of money. I would do it for free.
All right, let's go. We got 500 people tuned in. Shout out to Cameron for today's MVP. Bro's been absolutely wild. This is a Tuesday breakfast conversation in the Army. Tuesday breakfast conversation in the Army? Y'all are really lonely.
Eat that shit up like Kobayashi.
All right, let's do this. Let's do this mailbag. John, I don't disagree with you. But I also am the mindset of you get that amount of money, you bless your family for a generations.
You bless your family and that other man for generations.
I mean, who knows? You might not even be good at it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you this. You're paying me that amount of money for something that I have no experience in.
See, horror, from the conversation we were just having, I definitely misread your comment.
What? For who?
Horror.
Horror? Do a live mock. Yeah, I didn't read mock. How about that? Coming up here next on the Raiders Report, a live. Not quite. All right, y'all. I think we're done rocking out with our mocks out. Victor Vincent Garza, you are in this duck race. Holy shit, man. Holy shit, man. You ready? And then after this, we'll throw out some deals. We'll keep some shenanigans going for a little bit. I don't even know. At this point, would you? No, I'm not even going to say it. I'll say it after this. Coming up, mailbag time here on the Raiders Report. Raider Nation, what's going on? Today's mailbag is presented by Panda Sups. Use code DRAFT for 25% off at pandasups.com. Sorry for the laughs, but if you didn't tune into our live show on March 27th, then you don't know what we're laughing about. My question to you out there is this: how much does 69 another man? Yeah, I know, it's a crazy question. That debate happened live on Thursday, excuse me. Bottom line is this: every question you're going to see here is going to be around free agency. It's going to be around the NFL draft. It's going to be around trades. We have a lot of weird conversations on this show, but it's why I want people to hit that subscribe button. If you can't talk about the weirdest shit with your friends, I saw a comment, that's a casual Tuesday conversation in the military. I want people that watch this show that know Chuggs and I are normal dudes. We like sipping on beers. We like talking about sports. And any question you throw at us is always a possibility we can answer it. Let's go to Nathan Wolf. What are the odds you think a team trades up for Jeanty? I would say that I don't usually think that teams trade up for a running back, but this could be a year that you could see it end up going down. Teams to keep an eye out for. The New Orleans Saints, they had their running back coach at Jeanty's combine or at his pro day. Also, I think the Dallas Cowboys are a team to keep in mind. I'll actually also throw out the Chicago Bears. The Bears, based on some of the moves that they made, they really bolstered that offensive line. I would say Chicago, the Saints, and the Cowboys, I think, could potentially move up. Let's go to Preston Rodriguez. Not trying to overreact, but we need Armin Membu as our first-round pick. If you're somebody that believes in building in the trenches, then I would also say that Membu is probably the pick. You could put him at right tackle. I also don't hate the idea of going out and drafting somebody like Will Campbell and putting him at left guard if you're a little bit concerned about his arm length, which I don't know how we have all these different arm lengths on one person. I don't think it's all that difficult to measure your length. What did I say? Armin Membu, Will Campbell. Campbell's arms are short. Armin Membu's long, which I don't know if I should say. Yeet! If Travis Hunter falls to us, do we take him or trade back? If Travis Hunter falls to you at pick 6, you take him. And you take him because not only do you need a receiver, you could use him definitely as a cornerback. I think he's going to be a better corner than a receiver in the NFL, though wide receivers do get paid more. If you're planning on going best player available, Travis Hunter, I would imagine, is going to be the best player available. If he falls to 6, the only way I would say maybe you don't is if there is a team that tries to trade up for him and they offer a boatload. If a team's trying to trade up and offer you a boatload, well, then I am team trade back every single time. Let's go to Darian. What up, man? If we draft Membu, do you think we'll slide DJ Glaze inside? It's what I would do. I would put Membu at right tackle. What I would personally consider is, maybe you kick DJ Glaze over to right guard. And then reminder, you still have Dylan Parham. He played left guard his first few seasons with the Raiders. I would just kick over Parham to left guard. Then you have Jordan Meredith to back him up. You have Alex Kappa to be able to back up Glaze just in case that doesn't work out the way that you were hoping. But if your objective is to get the best players on the football field, Membu's the best right tackle in this year's class. And quite frankly, I actually don't think it's all that close. And that's the biggest weakness right now on this Raiders offensive line. If you're a believer in building in the trenches, I would go Armin Membu. I would also consider, like I said, Will Campbell. Let's go to the next one coming in here. Carlos, how many UNLV players get drafted by the Raiders? I mean, I would set the more or less at 0.5. I know that Ricky White, he's the receiver from UNLV. He didn't run the best 40 time. But he literally said just the other day that he would love to stay here in Las Vegas and would love to be a member of the Raiders. I would say also the linebacker, what's his name? Woodard. He's somebody that the Raiders have talked to and have met with at the Combine. Also, since he is in at UNLV in Las Vegas, you don't have to have a top 30 visit. I would say that Woodard and then Ricky White would be the top 2 players off the top of my head right now that I would say could be drafted by Las Vegas. Let's go to Daniel Meeker. I've wanted the Raiders to get Jeanty all through the season. Now I'm concerned the Giants will get him since they've signed Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. I don't think that at all. And quite frankly, I don't see why the Giants would, considering what just happened with the whole Saquon Barkley situation. I would say the Giants, based on what I've heard from Marshall talk about, Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter, because you got to go best player available. It sounds like Cam Ward's going to go number 1 overall. We'll see what the Browns do, but I would say after, Jeanty's a phenomenal prospect, but Jeanty isn't in that, I would say, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, best player available conversation, and based on what the Giants did, that's a team that needs to win right now. I think they go that route. Let's go to Raider Rob, 1969. Should we get safety Justin Simmons? Heard we might grab him. I like the idea of going out and getting Simmons. Like, I look at this Raiders defense right now, and I would say the biggest weakness that we have from top to bottom is free safety. And I like, our safety room, but we don't have a true center fielder out there. Simmons is getting up there in age at 31. He played at, $8 million last year, 1-year prove-it deal. I would absolutely do that again. Justin Simmons at safety? Yeah, I'm on board. Let's go to Peter Jones. What up, Peter? Mark had dinner with Arch Manning. Is he the plan? I mean, I think every NFL team that doesn't have a legit top 5, top 10 quarterback is going to be interested in Arch Manning. I did hear about this story. I can't remember where they had dinner. It's actually at a place that I had dinner with my CEO, James, and the guy that owns the D Casino. His name's Derek. It's one of the nicest places out there, and I know Mark is a frequent flyer there. And again, I can't think of the name of the restaurant, but I know a lot of very high-end people end up going there because of its exclusivity. But, I don't know if Arch comes out in 2026. I actually think that Arch could actually stay until 2027. It's kind of been the plan. But then here's the other part. As much as some people don't like the Geno Smith move, I like the Geno Smith move. The only way that you're going to have an opportunity to get Arch Manning is if you have the number 1 overall pick. If you're the worst team in the NFL, you got a shot. Geno Smith, even for the people that don't watch his tape, and again, anytime I hear anybody talk bad about Geno, it just tells me you didn't watch his tape. I'm not saying that he's an amazing quarterback, but people that are saying that he's cheeks, again, you just don't know ball, and that's the easiest way that I can put it. But, if you think the Raiders are the worst team in the NFL, sure, Arch Manning is on the table. If you don't think the Raiders are the worst team in the NFL, then Arch Manning isn't on the table. So how about this? If you're somebody that goes, I want Arch Manning to the Raiders, that's you telling me that you think the Raiders are the worst team in the NFL. So how bad are the Silver and Black? Are they the worst team in the NFL? Type W. If you don't think that they're the worst team in the NFL, then type other. Because I'll tell you this, I don't think the Raiders are the worst team in the National Football League, and that's going to be the only way that you get Arch. Arch is the number 1 overall pick, unless somebody like Joe Burrow pops up, where it's a quarterback that there's not a lot of hype around, and then he has 1 year where he goes out there and throws for frickin', 60 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, they end up winning the national championship. Or a quarterback like Jaden Daniels ends up popping up where you're like, all right, this guy kind of came out of nowhere to end up winning the Heisman. Arch is going to be the number 1 overall pick. I'd be shocked if it didn't happen. If you're a real one, spam real one down below. You're probably already a part of the Noti Gang as well. If you don't know what the Noti Gang is, these are people that I know are subscribed, people that I know have their notifications turned on, and people that are looking for Raiders coverage 365 days this season. I got to show some love to the Noti Gang. We got Raider Jake. We got Matt R. Matt Fluhey. Just win, baby. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for seriously hitting that notification bell, for showing me and for showing Chuggs and everybody here at Chat Sports what a real one is all about. Let's go to Red Eye Nation. We need Jeanty, Campbell, or Membu. Come one, or drink one, Mitch. You know what, Red Eye? I know. That says, come one, drink, Mitch. That's literally what it says. Red Eye Nation, cheers to you. I am on the idea of, if you told me the top 4 players that I want the Raiders to take at number 6, Membu, Campbell, Jeanty, Teteroa, McMillan. But what I would rather over all those, I am team trade back. Red Eye Nation, cheers to you, bro. Speaking of trade back, Gutierrez, what up, man? What is the number 6 pick trade back worth? It just depends who's trading up. If it's the Saints, you might only get a 3rd-round pick just because it's a little bit lower of a value. If it's the Bears at number 10, maybe you get a 2nd. I don't really know. I'd probably say you're probably only going to get a 3rd there as well. If you're like the Dallas Cowboys, then you better get a 2nd-round pick. Though, I do wonder if there's going to be teams out there, because next year's draft is considered... Again, this year's draft is a little bit underwhelming when you talk to a lot of people around the league. Now, it's top-heavy, but could you consider trying to get an extra 1st-round pick in next year's draft? It's at least a little bit of a potential. But I am team trade back, and I think that you could get good value overall, and you could build the best team available by trading back. Let's go to my man, Nabman. How excited are you that JPJ is at center for an entire year? I want to see that nasty shit mentality rule left and rule right. I was going to say, are we still talking about 69 joke, or what are we talking about here, Nav? No, I can't wait to see JPJ at center. And quite frankly, it's one of the reasons why I got so frustrated last season, because I don't understand how guys that get paid to do this can just continuously throw out Andre James at center when you knew that. I mean, everybody, like my mom knew that JPJ was a better center, you know what I mean, than Andre James. So I am excited to see how much better this team is going to be, because this might surprise you. The guy that hands the ball off to the quarterback, it's a really important job. You need him to be the best player available, and that's what JPJ is. He's the best center we have on our team. Let's go to silent. Round 1, T-Mac. Round 2, Benjamin Morrison. Round 3, Devin Neal. Running back from Kansas. That's a little bit early for me personally on Neal. Good, like he's good. There's probably other better running backs available, but if you told me we went T-Mac, Benjamin Morrison, and start our first 2, I think that is a really, really solid start, but I wouldn't love getting Devin Neal in round 3. That's a little bit early for me personally. Also, some of y'all might be saying, Mitch, I don't know how you're staying in the shape that you're staying, drinking all these beers that you're drinking. It's because I use Panda Sups, and you guys can use Panda Sups too. Use code DRAFT. You're going to get 25% off at pandasups.com. One of the number 1 supplements that I have been using from Panda is their Super Nootropic. Sometimes I got to stay locked in when, you're working a lot of hours. I know a lot of people out there also are busy bees, like whether you're doing whatever you're doing, like if you're a full-time worker working 9 to 5, if you're a student, if you're a gamer, if you're somebody that needs to stay up late, Panda Sups, the Super Nootropic, does a great job of being able to keep your mind awake. And I'm somebody that likes caffeine. I love coffee. Coffee is probably one of my favorite things that I can drink. But at a certain point, you kind of have that little bit of a crash because you have too much caffeine. If you're that person and you want to get rid of the energy drinks, pandasups.com, code DRAFT for 25% off. Try out the Super Nootropic. If you're also like, well, Mitch, I don't know if I want that product. What are some of the other products out there? The protein I use all the time. I love their creatine. If you're somebody that needs to stay hydrated, the BCAAs is really important. I've used every single product here. My personal favorite, though, I love their protein probably more than anything. Chuggs, I always talk about Ninja Creamy. If you have one of those products, you definitely need some Panda Sups protein. And if anybody out there spends over more than $100 by using code DRAFT at pandasups.com and you live in the United States, you're going to be able to get a shaker and a bag from Panda on the house. Let's go to John Rodriguez. You're next up here, man. I'd love to get Jeanty, but I'd rather move back and get Membu and get more picks and get Watts in the second. I actually did a mock draft that you guys are going to see on our YouTube community channel here at the Raiders Report, and I was like, hey, just grade it. I forget which day that post will be available to y'all, but I did so much trading back, and I just wanted to see how much I could trade back and how much I would like the draft. Dude, I'm not kidding you. I love the idea of how when you can get more players in that 35 to 55, 65 range, I promise you're going to like your draft a lot more. Wrong way. You are the GM. Who do you take at number 6? Armin Membu, offensive tackle from Missouri. I want to build in the trenches. That's the route that I would go. Jonathan Smith, you're next up. If Shador's available round 2, do you take him? This might be an unpopular opinion. I'm not going to take him. And this is going to be something that I am surprised that I'm even debating, but I do think Geno Smith is good enough to win playoff games with the Raiders if you put a good team around him. And I also think that the Raiders also believe that. But at the exact same time, I wouldn't be shocked if they did it. I really don't think Shador is going to slide to round 2, though, because there's going to be a team that takes him in round 1. Let's go to Carter Martin. All right, let's say the Bears want to trade up and they offer us first swap, a second. We give them a 4th. All right, so we swap 6 and 10. We get a second, and we give them pick 108. Can you make that for me? I'll be real. Like, just looking at this from the top, I like this trade because I'm somebody that wants to get more picks. I don't love, obviously, giving up our 4th-round pick, but at the exact same time, if you were to tell me that this is the trade that we did, I'm okay with it because in my mind, you can still go best player available. Like, there's a chance Jeanty could go here, though. I think if the Bears do this trade, it's to get Jeanty. I think if they do this trade, it's probably to get Jeanty. Like, you could still get a Will Campbell, an Armin Membu, a Teteroa McMillan. Maybe you're looking at then like a Will Johnson, a Jade Barron, but I actually think I would do this trade here. I like the value a lot in that. Who wins this deal? Let me know down below. Type LV for the Raiders, or if you think the Chicago Bears ended up winning this one, type CHI. But again, I'm saying up here, I think if you do this trade, the Bears are going up to get Ashton Jeanty because they built that offensive line. They need another running back. So if you want Jeanty, you're probably not going to be on board for this. But who knows? Maybe Chicago is going up to get another player that we don't know that they like a lot. Let's go to Rustin Long. What up, nation? Mitch, how about trading back to 9, grabbing an extra second, and then back to 12 to grab another second, plus whatever other picks they offered? How happy would you be? I mean, if you're telling me I'm getting 3 second-round picks, I'm ecstatic. I just don't, like, how far are we going back? Because if you're telling me we're going back to 9 and we're going back to 12, just based on the trade value chart, I don't think that you're going to get a second. I think the value is actually closer to a third, just because the draft this year, the value, based on what we've been hearing, it's just not as high of what we've seen in some years past. Now, maybe if a team's trying to go up and get Shador, if a team's trying to go up and get a quarterback, yeah. But I would say this is probably a little bit closer to maybe you get a second, and then you're also hoping to potentially get a third. But even that I would do, because the value and what the Raiders need right now, we need a lot of extra picks. What up, Jansen? If Carter's available at 4 or 5, I'd trade up to get him. Otherwise, go offensive lineman, T-Mac, or trade back for picks. Get our running back, DB, linebacker, more day 2, 3, 4. Man, here's the thing, man. I love Abdul Carter, and he is, I think he's the best prospect in this year's draft. I think he's the #1 overall prospect in this year's draft. It's just, if you trade up, right, to number 4 or 5 to go get him, you're giving up a second and maybe a third, where we just have way too many other holes to be a team that trades up. And that's me saying this now on March 27th. If you're telling me the Raiders go out and sign a few players, but there's not a lot of players that I think you could go out and sign that would give me the confidence to go up and get Abdul Carter. And I love Abdul. I'm a Penn State guy. Let's go to Major. And class full of B-tier football players. The Raiders must use that 6th pick on one of the very, very few S-tier football players, and that's Ashton Jeanty, in my opinion. He is a phenomenal prospect, but, and I'm kind of, not that I'm getting sick and tired of saying it, but I know how talented he is. But if you don't have a great offensive line, or if you're missing other pieces around, Jeanty's going to look the way that Jeanty did against Penn State. Still a great player, but he didn't look like the Ashton Jeanty that I think a lot of people are thinking about. What up, Nab? I think we trade with the Saints and get... Stop. I know you're just joking, and you're pulling my leg. Though, I'll tell you this right now. If Derek Carr came back on this team to compete with Geno Smith, I might do that 69 deal, because that's more outrageous to me. Like, going out and trading for Derek Carr and you're taking on that $50 million contract, get out of here. What up, Celesbo? Why haven't we re-signed Geno yet? What happened if we don't? Well, you don't need to re-sign him. He's on your team. He's on the team this year for the Raiders at a $31 million cap hit. The extension's going to come. Like, when you listen to a lot of the reports out there, the Seahawks traded Geno to the Raiders because of that relationship. But then also on top of that, like, there's no rush, because Geno knows the relationship he has with Pete, and they know that a deal will ultimately end up getting done. I don't know if it happens now. I actually have heard from a few sources that the Raiders could end up doing it, like, after the draft, because if you get the deal done with Geno before the draft, then you know that they're not going to take a quarterback. If I'm the Raiders and you want to have that, just, again, checkers and chess type of mentality, you don't give Geno a long-term extension. You make teams think that you're going to take Shador at 6, when that's then going to make a team try to trade up for Shador and go get him where you're at. I'm not worried about the Geno deal. It's going to get done. I just don't know when. John, would you trade Michael Mayer for the Colts wide receiver Pierce straight up? Been hearing a Brandon Ayuk trade rumor again. I mean, the Brandon Ayuk trade rumors are always going to be there just because of what San Francisco has been doing. They're trying to get money to be able to pay Brock Purdy. But would I trade Michael Mayer straight up for Alec Pierce? This might be an unpopular opinion. I don't know if I would. Like, I know Michael Mayer can be a good tight end. I had Mayer ranked a lot higher. I think if the Pierce deal would have happened, it would have happened last year with Gardner Minshew since those two had a connection. But I'll be real. I actually don't think I would trade Michael Mayer straight up for Alex Pierce because both guys have 2 years left on their deal, I believe. And I think Mayer can be a good tight end. I really do. Jordan Marshall, what up? Raiders need a reliable deep threat. What about bringing back Aguilar? Holy shit. That's a name from the past. I think there's other better deep options than Nelson Aguilar because the other thing that scares me with Aguilar is his inconsistency to be able to catch the football, which is going to be really important for Geno because Geno's going to put the ball on the numbers. Like last season, Geno Smith was top 4 in the NFL of on-target rate for passes over 20 yards, and he was top 3 on targets over 10 yards. Like, Geno, his accuracy, again, if you like accurate quarterbacks, and if you look at a lot of metrics, like Geno Smith, by the metrics that I look at for quarterbacks, he's a top 13 quarterback. And if you don't believe me, again, go check out the video that I did earlier on my film breakdown on Geno Smith. Now, those are all the questions. I appreciate everyone tuning in to today's live show. I am down to get down for those of you that are watching this live. And if you're not watching this live, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure those notifications are turned on because you've heard probably a lot of crazy inside jokes today. And you probably don't understand why. If I missed your question, you can always hit me up on Instagram and on Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365. But a lot of crazy stuff happened today on our live show. All right, y'all. Final call to get in. $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. We got 4 more duck races to get to. Chuggs, can we show the people what the deals on today's show are? Here are the deals. And I'm only going to do from here on out. If you want to get in the duck race, it's a $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. Home runs, we're doing a bat flip beer bong. We're throwing it down. And if anybody hits a grand slam already today, Lord Cameron Abbott's already hit 2 grand slams. Another boot would do me in bad. I'm not going to lie to y'all. But I'm down to get down. Even though I feel like we've already been getting down.
Get down on it. No, you didn't even mention what I did for the Grand Slam.
What'd you do for the Grand Slam?
Look at the picture.
Is that Denny's? Bro, I'd crush Denny's Grand Slam. Right now, a Denny's Grand Slam would stand no chance.
It's funny because growing up, I feel like it's like, Waffle House, Denny's, IHOP. I had a Denny's right next to me growing up. That's what we always went to Denny's.
See, I never had IHOP. Never had.
We had an IHOP. It was a little bit further away, and actually, it's like surprisingly expensive.
IHOP?
Yeah.
Really?
Like,
see, for me, I could either go up the road to Perkins, or I had to drive 15 minutes to Denny's. Perkins is probably the number 1 breakfast place that I ate at.
LCA, I did a boot.
Oh, man. Who did a boot?
LCA said my boot is still waiting. I said I did.
Chuggs did a boot. I did the first boot. I did the first 2 boots. Chuggs did the second or third boot.
What y'all know about the Village Inn, Mitch?
The what? I don't know what that is. Nabman, 1 more is not owed. Or am I tripping? I don't know. We did 3 boots. I did 1 to start the show.
One whenever he sent the first one.
And then I did the first one.
I did the other one. And then you did a beer bong bat whenever he sent in the 100 for the gong.
I guess I don't see it.
Yeah. But Grand Slam at Denny's couldn't beat it. It was $7, pancakes, eggs, bacon, hash browns.
Oh, dude, you get everything. Yep. Nav, unfortunately, I'm going to question because I just did the math. You know what I mean? Like, again, I'm not trying to be that guy, but at the same time, like.
Well, no, whenever you hit the gong, LCA, I did the boot.
Yeah, I guess I don't get it. Oh, God.
Were you saying that gong equaled 2 boots is what I'm guessing you're.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I owe you guys a bat? I don't know. These are the deals that I got. I don't know what you guys are asking me right now. I do have, though, 4 more duck races.
What is your go-to either? What was your breakfast spot that you said?
Perkins.
Perkins?
Love Perkins.
Did they have like a Grand Slam type?
They had
What
version
was your go-to order?
At Perkins?
Chat, let me know. Denny's, IHOP, or at Waffle House, what's your go-to order? Because I'm always like a Grand Slam or like the All-Star Breakfast from Waffle House.
Mm-hmm.
But Grand Slam, I'm going pancakes, obviously. Hash browns have to be extra crispy.
With onion.
Great call.
Gotta get some onion.
But I don't know if they do that at Denny's.
I actually don't know.
I know at Waffle House you can get it like smothered, covered, and one other thing.
Old Country Buffet.
But I'd always go with the hash browns extra crispy, and my stepdad used to do it, and I love it too. I'd get the hash browns extra crispy. I'd put it on a separate plate. I'd get the eggs over easy, and I'd pop the yolks on the eggs, or I put the eggs on top of the hash browns, pop the yolks on the eggs, put a little bit of ketchup, a little bit of hot sauce, and just eat all that together, like the egg yolk with the hash brown. Oh.
All right. I don't know what is happening down below in the comments. So I'm a deal maker. I'll make you all a deal. I got to pee again, okay? Not going to lie to you. I got to take a leak. If we get one bang on Venmo, I got a boot for you. And that's going to be my last probably boot of the day. Okay? I'm a deal maker. I got to take a piss. I will get right back. If we get a bang, I got you.
Also, Denny's was good because they have the different sauces. Not sauces, the different syrups. They had like the blueberry, strawberry. They had a buttered pecan syrup. Very good. Oh, wait. Mitch, what's heaters? Rich just said all caps heaters. Good breakfast? Richie, what did you get from Heaters? What was your go-to order? Let me know. Robert says triple French toast, everything crispy hash brown, grits, sausage patties, and large milk. Let's see. Mel's Diner, favorite breakfast. Pancakes with eggs and hash browns. We got a place called Sawyer's from Navman. Best breakfast in the US of A. Damn plate is 18 inches in diameter, has everything on it. 4 pounds of food, $12. No way. 4 pounds of food? I don't know. I don't know about that, Jim. Chili relleno, if I could find it. For breakfast? Oh, breakfast chili relleno? Next time you go to Denny's, tell them you want it served on a hot griddle. Can you do that? Is that a thing? Can you ask for a hot griddle at Denny's? What does that mean? Like it's like a fajita griddle? And of course, Raider Sancho, chicken French. What do you mean a hot griddle? A hot griddle. What? Like the fajita one? You can get your breakfast on a fajita one? Bro. That's insane. It comes out smoking like a fajita, but it's your breakfast. I could be down. I could be down for that. The more you know. No, I had no idea. At Denny's, apparently, you can ask for your breakfast to be served on like a fajita skillet.
Huh?
I'm being told that you can ask for your whatever you get to like be served on a fajita skillet, like a hot skillet.
Interesting. I mean, that sounds good. All right, Cam. The 100 is sent.
Raider Ron, South Kelly Grill in American Canyon, hot link and egg breakfast sandwich. It's an old trucker stop, massive amounts.
I guess I don't understand. So we didn't do gongs today for boots. That's the deal today was this. So you sent in 2 of these. I did 2 boots. Chuggs did a boot. That was the deal. I'm sorry if there was some confusion. All right, we got... Uh-oh, little bloop. Nope.
We're good.
I saw the Mets Astros just popped up.
Yeah, Astros are up 3-0 last time I checked.
Gotcha.
But obviously we can't watch it because it's MLB.
Yeah, what the hell, dude?
Yeah, it's bottom of the 8th. Astros still up 3-0. I never got your dad's order from Heater. Oh, no. 2 eggs, OL. What is OL?
Overlight. That's all.
Overlight?
That's how my dad, for the last 40 years, has had 2 eggs, overlight. He's going to get them with some toast.
Mm-hmm.
If he's going to Heaters, he's definitely going to get hash browns. It's going to have onions in it. His bread's probably going to be whole wheat bread.
Uh-huh. He said 2 eggs, OL. So is that
Overlight.
runny still? Is Overlight runny?
Dippy. It's got like the yolk still there.
Maybe I like it Overlight. I just never knew. He said home fries with onions and cheese, country sausage, and toast.
Okay. That's a new one. The country. I was going to say, it's usually bacon at home or something, but he eats the same thing every time.
Aggressive.
Oh, boy. Eggs Benedict from Corky's is top tier, no debate.
But we were talking in the office the other day on the terms of breakfast, and this can get the chat going while we get the last races done. We're going to do all the rest of the races for our March Madness bracket, and then we'll do the duck race at the end. Let us know the best fast food breakfast. Because we were all debating honey butter chicken biscuit from Whataburger. Some of y'all might have Wendy's that has a honey butter chicken biscuit, but
see, I wouldn't put that. I like honey butter chicken, but like I'm not a chicken guy for breakfast.
Sausage McGriddle, I think that was a consensus top breakfast item.
I need egg, like egg sandwich, like that's breakfast to me. Honey, like Alex loves it. Not so much for me.
I love it.
Not so much for me. All right. What are we doing? We're going to do March Madness first. March Madness races are first. The March Madness races are first. So if you want to get in our duck race today, right now it is, I see Randall Carter. You just got in 20 to win $270 on today's show. That's going to be pretty electric, dude. And look at this. We got LCA against Adrian Leon.
Did you ever have Taco Bell breakfast when they had it?
No. Well,
No.
I again, Taco Bell was like late to the party in my hometown.
Wendy's has a sneaky good breakfast. They have these home fries.
All right. Lord Cameron Abbott, today's MVP, yesterday's MVP, going up against Adrian Leon. Come on, LCA.
Navman says Here in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, number 1 Sawyer's, number 2 is Farmhouse,
this is gonna be close.
3 is Flapjacks, 4 is Catfish Mama, and 5 is The Diner. All the chain stuff.
Come on,
rank in my top
LCA.
10.
Bro, you got to get it going here, man.
Navman doesn't strike me as a chain restaurant goer.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. If you're in a small town, you go support local.
Navman only goes to places where he knows the owner.
Adrian Lord Cameron Abbott with the dub. With a dub, man. All right, I'll put this final deal out here for the boot. It can't be Cameron, though. Cameron has done enough.
Also, Almighty,
if somebody bangs or if there is an alley-oop, I will do a boot for Cameron, but that's going to cook me. I'm just telling
Almighty
you.
Oakland also sent in a super chat. Likelihood of us trading up to 1 or 2, 1-0 shot. You have 0.1% chance.
To trade up to 2?
To 1.
Yeah, 1 not going to happen.
The Titans
are taking Cam Ward.
We can start the draft at pick 2 because the Titans they're going to take Cam Ward.
I agree. That's a big win though. LCA advances to take on the winner between Marcus and Anthony Green. I think I saw Anthony Green here earlier. Come on,
he's
Green.
here.
Uh-oh. Also, Matt Fluhey, you, sir, are in. I also got my man Can't Walk. I got you. You in. Here we go.
Blinky says, man, you live in Pigeon Forge? I loved it whenever I was over.
Marcus and Anthony Green. This is going to come down to the Warrior. Anthony Green! This is Marcus, you got to turn it on here, homie. Not going to be enough. What a win, Mr. Green. What a win, Anthony Green. That means it's going to be Green up against LCA.
Yeah. 1 versus 4.
Lord Cameron Abbott. Bang! Boot for Gong Tuesday. I did the one on Tuesday.
We don't do a gong for every we don't do a boot for every single gong. That's a rule on like some shows we'll do it.
Yeah,
but not every single show is a gong equals a boot for us because we have a ton of different deals that we do. So that's not a overarching deal that goes from every single show.
Yeah, we did it today.
Especially when we have $200. Usually it'll just be a gong equals a boot. That's it.
Yeah.
So on days where it's like $200 equals a boot, we don't do $500 or like gong boots as well.
And obviously, let's get this straight. Like, I love everything y'all do on this show, but there are times where like I also feel bad when I can't keep up with the deals that roll in, and sometimes y'all kick my butt. But
this one's a toughie.
This is going to be a toughie.
Raider Sancho, which I know he's here. I think Mr. Ron Raspberry's here as well. Josh McDaniels also said, need this for an English class. Please comment, why do people follow trends? If you have, which one and why? Sorry, Raiders, need to finish my assignment. FKC. Please comment, why do people follow trends? If you have, which one and why? All right, so a little, I guess you're in some kind of psych class, I'm guessing, psychology. You could help them out. Let them know. Why do you think people follow trends? If you followed a trend, which one and why? For our man, Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels would answer that question with, I follow the trend of every time we're at the 40-yard line, I run a trick play. Why? Because I think it works. Ron and Raider Sancho, going at it.
Oh, God. I'm not going to lie. That was close. My eyes are watering. That was close. Come on, Ron. Come on, Sancho.
Run! Wow. I thought Raider Sancho had that.
Congratulations to Ron Raspberry, the mod. I'm not going to lie to y'all.
He actually goes by the Mod Father.
When I see the Brockton region, I love what I'm seeing so far in the Brockton region.
It's
LCA, Anthony Green, Ron Raspberry, and now either Eric Mitchell or 93 Nabman. I mean this. No disrespect to the other regions. That's my favorite region right now. That's my favorite region right now.
Nav, man, how are we feeling?
Who's going to be the final one to join the Sweet 16? Eric M., you know he eats corn the long way. The question is, does Navman, the final race of the Sweet 16, come on. I mean, here's the thing. Like, Eric Mitchell is one of the only people that have a eats corn the long way shirt.
93, though. 93, though!
Here we go. Here we go. Oh, man, Nav, you better turn it on here, dude.
Oh, he's slipping.
He's slipping down, though. Somebody's got to make a move. I think Eric M's going to be too much. No!
Man!
No!
Man!
No! Oh, my goodness. What a win, dude. Eric, I am so sorry, bro. I would have been happy with either.
Oh, I thought Navman blew his load too early. I thought Eric M.
He has a tendency to do that.
It came up like that, and I was like, oh, shit, Eric's got it.
He has a tendency to do that. Wild, man. Eric, bro, you know we love you here. Nav gets the dub.
That's the only region
that has all, like, it's...
That's the only chalk region, which...
Very chalk.
For people who aren't, like, sports bettors, chalk means basically the favorites won all around.
So how about this? Let's go through the Raiders Report March Madness bracket here.
Okay, let me try, because...
No, you're okay. We will do our best. I'll also say this. Our system has been acting a little bit funky with this graphic because, again, when we started today's live show, we went a little bit late because our system crashed, so we weren't able to restore everything.
This is correct, I believe.
In the Las Vegas region, it's Brent against Phillip.
Yep.
Okay.
Here we go.
So in the Las Vegas region, again, we are in the Sweet 16 portion of this. The winner of this is going to go to the Elite Eight, and then obviously Roger Braun, Francisco Ramirez. This is the Las Vegas region. In the Los Angeles region, Patrick B. up against Ivan Perez, up against Finesse Lounge and Ryan Campbell. I'll tell you what, I don't know how many times we've ever seen a 1 against 2, but Patrick B. and Ryan Campbell are both very deserving of that.
There is one guy who, I know he's just trolling. Darren Natali, after every single race that he's on live,
he always says rigged.
Rigged!
Yeah.
He
always says.
Oakland region is nothing.
This is chaos. The Oakland region is nothing but chaos.
9-4, 14-7.
I mean, imagine you're in the Sweet Six. I mean, a 14 against 9 race is possible.
There's no perfect brackets left.
No perfect
Everybody
brackets.
that filled out their Raiders Report March Madness brackets.
Oakland effed it up.
I already did the math. None are perfect.
Can I tell you this, though? I guarantee you after the very first race when Brandon lost, RIP to the great Brandon Jasper, everybody was picking Brandon to win that one.
Yeah.
So that's from the jump. Brockton. This is unbelievable.
1, 4,
That's a
3,
screenshot
and 2.
right there. That's unbelievable. What I'm happy about is...
Top Beat said it would be the Oakland bracket. That's the crazy one.
That's the crazy one. And Brockton, this is, for those that don't know, Brockton, Al Davis, it's where he was born. Like, it's his hometown. So that's why we did Brockton. But Al's just got everything on line here. He's slicing and dicing. 3 against 2, 1 against 4. Man, oh man, oh man. So if you enjoyed those duck races, but you want to get in this one.
Noah said that was Navman hitting the turbo when he sees hate in the chat.
It's like when you're trying to get the bots out of there. Salvador, you, sir, are in. It is a $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365 for right now a chance to win $300.
Tell you, I think you sent it to the wrong person.
Who did I send it to? Oh, yep. Got it.
Mitch, what are you having for dinner tonight?
I don't know. Alex is out of town.
I think we have hot dogs at the house. It's opening day. I think I have to grill hot dogs.
Oh, God, that's disgusting. You might as well just eat hot dogs and tuna for opening day.
Well,
I'm not.
Would
I'm not,
hot dogs be worse for you?
I'd rather eat a hot dog than tuna.
Okay.
Now, if it was like a raw hot dog that you just take out of the packet, no
like not
chance.
cooked.
No. I don't know, dude. It's those are probably my 2 least favorite things like that normal people eat.
First, and that surprises me because Richie gives me a big vibe of I don't care. It's on your plate. Eat it.
I ate a lot of hot dogs when I was a kid. I did, but I don't like them. Like now, they just really gross me out, man.
All right, here we go. Winner gets, I think, a crisp 300.
Wait. Let me see. Can you add Andrea? I know.
Kind of ruined everything, Andrea.
Oh, Andrea, it's on you.
All right, here we go.
Wait. Okay, I have one for Sean. Sean Morgan getting another one in.
You know what, Sean? I know how your name is spelled, and because you got in late, I'm spelling it the other way.
I was like, I don't think that's how you spell Sean. Gunny! What's up, fam? Just got here. Gunny. It's a 20 to win 320. 20 to win 320. What? You think it's going to happen? I don't see anything. I think we're good.
No?
I honestly, I don't see anything.
Okay.
I think Gunny would have done it.
Okay.
I think he would have done it.
Here we go.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Dude, I'm not going to lie to you. That third boot, I am in shambles right now. My stomach feels like it's going to come out of my butthole.
Oh, no. Crash is already in. He's at the top.
Oh, and then he's already in, Crash. I don't know what you're doing there.
He said, I injured from work.
That's insanity.
What are you doing? Joining a duck race.
Though, it's wild, man.
Oh, all the other names on here, besides the ones that you saw me, those are Mitch. So Raymond, I see your name at the bottom. That was Mitch.
Yeah, there's going to be some misspells.
Raymond Sanhez.
Charles right now with a clear lead, which means his horse is about to blow its legs out.
ACL tear now.
The winner, Richie!
Wow.
I actually don't know if my thing of my dad's actually only won twice.
Where are you, Darren?
I was going to say, if there's
Where
a time
are you,
for
Darren?
Darren to show up, it's now. Holy shit, man. Darren says, which Charles is that?
In charge.
I don't know. His name's Charles.
All right, we got to wrap this up because I'm about to piss my pants.
No, you're good. You're good.
Spam rigged.
Spam rigged. I'll tell you what, if there's a time for you to spam it, it's going to be that. It's going to be that. Dad, think about how much Perkins and heaters you can get.
Dude, the amount of heaters that you can get.
Bro, $300 at heaters.
I like how he put heaters in the chat knowing it's only like one place restaurant.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. That's funny. I'll say this, though. My dad has entered probably, I don't even know, bro, like 60-something races at this point.
Your dad's done a lot of entering in his time.
Not a doubt.
Let's just say you wouldn't be here if your dad didn't enter.
Also, not wrong. Not wrong. All right, y'all. I got to get out of here. I'm absolutely cooked. LCA, you're the MVP.
Richie!
LCA, you're the MVP. If the way that I'm going to do a show tomorrow is I'm going to say it's presented by Lord Cameron Abbott. If there's something that you want me to do, just DM it to me or put it in the Raider More group chat. I'll be able to see it. But from me, from Jeremy Chuggs, congratulations to everybody that moves to the Sweet 16. We will do those races on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then we will do the next races on that Thursday. Let's go, Mets.
Oh,
what?